Nah.
We'll make her
You
use our
uniquely
name.
in mine.
We're up.
My nicknames stick to me, even beyond here.
No, not like Trump, though. He's better. If Trump gives you a nickname, you own it, Billy. It's it.
Lion's head kind of went away.
Well, after they shook hands. Lion's head, crooked Hillary.
Yeah. Well, we only have to put up with him for another year.
Here we go.
He will never be reelected.
You're right. You're right, Tom.
No, that'll bet.
You're right. I know. Just like you said that
I'll
when he
bet
actually
anything.
won. I mean, it was ridiculous. For
You know,
a year
Mark,
straight, you said he wasn't
I will
going to
tell
win.
you secretly, honest to God,
Look at
I
that.
want Mark. I really did want him to win. I know I was joking with you a lot. I wanted him to win, and I voted for him because I thought, not being a politician, once he was elected, all this bravado shit would go away, and I'd start being a leader.
Yes, because he'll change after 72 years.
I just
Old dogs do learn
he's
new
definite.
tricks.
I think he's better than Hillary. I just don't think he is.
So who do you think would beat him?
I don't think he's a good leader. He doesn't.
Pocahontas or
He
what's her
doesn't
name?
unify and
Pocahontas.
motivate people.
Pocahontas.
He is
Pocahontas.
very divisive. No, I don't think she would be any better, Mark. I'm not saying that.
Who's not divisive on the other
This guy
side?
just keeps signed on everything.
Who would not only beat him on the other side? Who's not divisive on the other side?
Well, I would want.
I'd say they're more
Actually,
divisive.
I would lean toward a Republican rather than a Democrat, only because of these.
It wouldn't happen. If Trump runs, he'd take more than half the vote. It would never happen. Another Republican, if he runs, could never win the vote.
Somebody has to run independent.
Yeah, but all the
No,
trash
I wouldn't
talk
want
is
to see.
your-
I would
Well,
want to see.
okay, I see what you're saying.
I would want to see an independent. That would be a definite. Like I would.
Independent would never.
I fear that our country goes too far one way or the other. Like if we ever get into somebody like a Bernie.
Well, they say the middle, though, is really making all the decisions. I like holding on to that because I think that's true, don't you?
Yes.
But
If Bernie
I
ran
don't
as
know
independent-
who's out there that I think would
He'd
make
never
a
get.
good
He'd get
president.
maybe
No,
I'd say
it was
10 to 50, whatever Ross Perot got. He might get.
Right. But he would be a Republican for sure then.
I would. What's that?
If Bernie ran as an independent.
The Democrats would win if he ran as an independent.
No, the Republicans would win. The Democrats, half of them would vote for Bernie.
You're saying we split the Democrats.
Because that's what happened why Bush lost to Clinton. Because Perot took, what, 10%, 12%, whatever, and stuff.
That's exactly what happened.
And probably 80% of those would have been Republican.
I don't know.
They just don't have anybody to put up yet.
Not yet.
Nobody's going to run against Trump in his own party.
You don't know that.
Oh, right. What?
No,
Yeah,
nobody.
you don't know.
Has that ever happened where a sitting president that wanted to
You
run
know
again?
it's happened. I don't
No,
know.
no.
That's a good
That
question.
wanted to run again was unseated at the convention? Come on.
That's a great question. That's a good trivia question.
Find out. I don't think so. Dr. Mike, you shaved and grew it back? Growing it back or what? You're going to keep it shorter or
I'm gonna
what?
keep it short. Yeah, I think they'll long. Oh yeah, you saw me when I had the.
Yeah, I like it better this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You look more like a doctor.
Look more like a doctor now.
I would keep it uniform.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the answer.
It looks like my business card too.
That helps people.
Here we
I
go.
would say
You
back
shaved
in
yours
the
and
day,
you grew
yes,
it back.
they have.
Well, I know. I'm sure.
Yeah, I grew it back because my face.
It only happened once.
Really?
Franklin Pierce, the 14th president. He's one of those ones that I'm not even sure is real.
By the way,
He was elected as a Democrat in 1852. His pro-Southern sentiments and his policy of failing to lead on the divisive issue of slavery badly hurt his standing with the voters, damaging his support for the pro-slavery Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854. Blah, 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 blah. James Buchanan won. He was unseated. So there you go. Once again, I was right. Did you see that? Both of you, oh, it's never happened. I said it must have happened.
I didn't say it never happened.
Well,
I said I wonder if it did.
I knew it happened.
And you had Pierce in the back of your mind.
I kept thinking, what's that guy's name? Most people have never heard of him. Kansas slavery Pierce.
Pierce. Just popped it.
Is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hello! Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by Cam Solar. You know, a lot of people have a concern for the planet. I'm really happy about that. No matter where you stand on climate change, no matter where you stand on the earth, we all know, hey, there is no downside to being better stewards, saving energy. We'll talk about solar. But first I want to ask you, do you have a problem? Is someone just pissing you off? Do you know what? This show is really cathartic. It's also stress relieving, which can be cathartic as well. And it's a place to just unload. Sometimes you get direct help and we can actually get you money back. But for sure, we give you a soapbox. You know where that comes from, right? Does anyone know where soapbox comes from? Come on, Mark. Soapbox?
Yeah, they used to, when you were running for office, they'd stand up on it and gather a crowd and talk.
Right. So, the soapbox we give you here is pretty powerful. It's like social media on steroids. Now, social media, of course, if it's viral, it dwarfs any show. But what I'm saying is you can start here. Give us your feedback, especially this Christmas season. I have a theory, and it's really weird. I go back and forth. Are people getting more rude and cold and pain in the ass, or warmer and nicer? Here is my observation. This is why I say it's weird. I think in general the population has cooled off. It's every man for himself, and in general we are colder, less warm, less accommodating, not nice. In general, in traffic, at stores, it just seems to be, you know, this attitude. Now, again, I'm not going to start preaching to you, and I'm not going to get political because, you know, you hear people, which just piss me off, they talk about this country as if we're going through some major crisis. One person from England I heard from Britain say, well, you know, things in America, my goodness, they're not that bad in England. What do you here? First of all, America's doing wonderfully as far as the economy, jobs, and all of that. I'm not getting political when I talk about this cooling off and this rudeness. But I think in general there's a rudeness. But this is the dichotomy. Where there is a general, I feel, rudeness and impoliteness and just not niceness. Those who are nice are nicer. So I think there's a smaller percentage of really great people, and they make a lot of noise, which is good. They do a lot of great things. You know, have you heard about those people that went into Walmarts and paid off layaways to the tune of 100 grand, 50 grand, 25 grand? So, in general, I feel the population is cooling off. We're rude, selfish, sometimes obnoxious. But I think those who are doing good things are louder and more vivacious than ever, even though a small group. So I think we have extreme ends of the spectrum, but mostly I just think people are rude.
Well, I think here's a big issue. These generations coming up now and the animosity of Facebook and Google, no one really knows. They don't have to look each other in the eye.
You mean the anonymity?
Anonymity.
You're talking about people
how dare you correct my diction?
Yeah, well, I'm not correcting your diction. I'm correcting your term. But anonymity, by the way, my word.
But it makes.
Hold on, there's a word I can't say. What is it? That one.
Animosity.
Anyway, no, there's a word that every time I try to say it, it kills me.
I know those.
And there's always words like that. I forget it now what the hell it was, but it's something I absolutely can't say. But anyway, anonymity, you know, or being anonymous online, you are absolutely correct. Being anonymous.
And when you're younger.
Truly is one of the biggest problems, and it's why people can be such bullies and impolite. You look at the stuff, that hate we get.
They would never say that to someone's face. They get punched out.
Or they would never sign their name to it. And that goes for all social media. You're right. I think that's a big problem. But, again, and leaving reviews, the same thing. So being anonymous is a big deal. But I also think that people... I don't think social media created the problem. I think the problem was there, and social media amplified it. Just like I think money amplifies things. If someone is a jerk, they're going to be a bigger jerk with money. It doesn't create a jerk. If someone is generous to a fault, they're going to be generous to a fault when they get money. It's funny, an experiment to give people money and see how they react. It amplifies what they already are. Now, let's talk about your life. Do you think people are more rude? And especially now, because this is a consumer show, let's talk about in business. Do you think clerks, service people are in general, are you getting the service? Do you feel the love? Now, of course, we're going to take your problems, your questions, and your complaints at 303-713-TALK. That is our number. If you're new to this, it's the only show you'll ever hear like this. In fact, and the longest-running show in radio with the same host currently on the air. We literally have... I've gone through 8 ownership changes here on the air. And then before this, of course, I was in upstate New York, New York City, Florida, Miami and Tampa, and then North Carolina here. So I carried the show with me. What I want you to do now is take advantage of it. If you need help with a problem or just want to sound off, it's really the only place you can do it. And I know damn well something has happened to you, and you said, gosh, that shouldn't have happened. This is that place where you can unload. 303-713-TALK. Mark wants to unload.
Well, real quick, it's such a cultural question. We went to one of our members, I'll just say it, Jay Brett's Christmas party. The culture that man has created at Excel Roofing, everybody's polite. Everybody's nice to every single level. There's other roofing companies you're simply not going to get that from.
Okay.
It's a culture.
You're right.
McDonald's creates a culture.
Okay, I said this about George Donaldson and Fix It 24/7.
Good culture.
When I go to everyone in his, it's like you feel it. It's like that with Chick-fil-A. I mean, when I go
that
to
is
Chick-fil-A,
such a good example.
Yeah.
You go through the drive-thru,
or wherever,
they're smiling, they're happy, they like being there.
I love where a culture permeates throughout the whole thing.
Then you drive through Burger King, I'm using them just as an example, and it's nothing like that. You don't feel it.
Today, our guest, Dr. Mike Hederscheit with Bright Light Chiropractic, brightenyourfamily.com. And I think that, oh, by the way, if you have any questions for him, give us a call. And he's here to sit in and say hi. Tim's got a comment on leaving names for reviews. And, you know, it's kind of a laid-back season. People, if they do have problems, are big ones. But a lot of people just hold off on big decisions until after holidays.
I got a massive problem right here in this
and we're going to talk
envelope.
about that one. And I don't think it's a massive problem, but we'll see. And I have a basic disagreement on what a contract is. We'll talk about. Tim, what do you think?
Well, you know, you talked about anonymity and how that kind of hardens people's hearts a little bit and gives them a little leeway to be rude, whatever. I tend to leave reviews mostly when they are good reviews, and that's when I can be. That can let me be anonymous because I don't need to feel praise for doing something good. But if I do have something that's so horrible that I do feel the need to leave a bad review, I will sign my name to it. I will own it, and I
do too, man.
Okay,
I agree with him.
I'm happy you said that. Now, I have a challenge for you if you can hang on, and I hope you can, because I want to ask you something, but I don't want to ask you ahead of time because I don't want you rehearsing the answer. Now, when I opened the show and said it's brought to you by solar, as I said, solar is a good thing for the planet. It's a good thing for the pocketbook. It freezes your electric bills because once you buy this unit from Cam Solar, you never raise your electric bill, ever. You pay that monthly payment, which automatically saves you money right from the get-go, okay? And you own the system. No money down because of tax credits. Then when the system's paid for, imagine this, living in a home with no energy bills. It can happen with Cam Solar. They guarantee production. They also guarantee parts and labor, and the manufacturers do anywhere from 20 to 25 years depending on the component. To find out if your lot is efficient, literally efficient, and efficient enough to go for this, you go to gocamsolar.com/troubleshooter. So that's what you type in. GoCam, C-A-M, gocamsolar.com, then put that slash and troubleshooter for a free evaluation. You'll get a form to fill out with no obligation whatsoever. And that is something I think everyone can do just for the hell of it. Why not? There's only upside
even if you're selling your home, because you own the system. It goes with the house. And speaking of things for everyone, I can't stress this enough. It is open enrollment. So many people are under the impression they do not need health insurance anymore. It's still a requirement. They just took away the penalty. What that means by taking away the penalty is you can go outside of the exchange, which is truly a benefit because there are many plans outside the exchange that can do you well. So to find out the best health insurance for you, I say for everyone, because it doesn't cost you a dime extra to go to this wonderful brokerage. This is IntegraInsurance.com, Integra Insurance, 303-466-5500.
This report is...
let somebody come to whatever their boot camp is or whatever they do to see what they do.
They do a training thing? I didn't know they
Do you
did
know
that.
really what it is? I hate to tell you this, but the guy is a crazy Christian.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
It's a Christian view, and then he inculcates Christianity. Now, I don't think you can say you got to be Christian to work here, and I don't think he does. But I think people who aren't of that mind, whether they believe in Jesus Christ or they believe in Buddha, if they're not of that mind of service and love and that, I don't think they want to be there. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think they want to be there.
Unless you love the chicken.
Larry, with
You know,
the
but to
Tiger
work
Duck
there.
problem has been trying to reach you. He says tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about?
This is a good product.
Tiger Duck.
Yeah,
He sent us a anyway, just says the deadline's tomorrow. He's been trying to reach you, but you've not been feeling well. And I said he's just not in. He's not
no, I've been missing it. No, I've been trying to get back to you.
He says tomorrow's the deadline. If you could call him. Okay, two things. That person you have on the calendar, Corinna with the car sale.
We have to lay down
When I
some
call
rules.
it, it goes to a man's voicemail with the name starting with a C.
Clint's not going to like this, but we have to lay down some rules. If
And then
he takes
also,
off, we have
you
to
were
dock his
mentioning
pay.
Kia. This guy
That's all
called
there
our
is to it.
show an hour
You can't-
before we
that's right.
drive. Is this your deal? Or?
I keep letting you.
And the excuses are bogus.
Let me look it up.
They're getting
Don't you
weird.
Had to go to the hospital.
Dan, from now
I
on,
have my gut.
from now on, the policy, I told him if he takes too much time off, I'm done.
That works.
That's it. It's only fair.
No Christmas party for you.
Now, here's the deal. I'm going to dock your pay. And also, if you're going to die or otherwise be disabled, you must supply a replacement.
And a 30-day notice.
Yeah, okay, 30-day notice.
And if you die prior to the 30 days.
I had a hard enough time trying to find somebody to plow when I'm out of town.
Oh, who does your hangers when you're out of town?
Well, now it's Kenny, but I didn't have anybody. A guy out from range has been plowing.
If you want to burn up your snowplow, you can use Nate. I'm giving him shit.
Yeah, well, he deserves it. That was,
Yeah.
you know, that's not just hard on equipment. That could be really hard on him. Seized a motor, you know.
And my battery is 12 years old or 14 years old, to be honest with you. I need a replacement anyway, but he cranked the shit out of it.
Your battery's that old and still
I
going?
know, I replaced it last night.
Okay.
I literally found, I didn't realize there's a parts supplier right on the field.
And that's not a special battery you have.
Special aviation batteries.
Really?
They're all special. Oh, they have to be sealed in certain things.
Okay.
Yeah, you have, absolutely special aviation batteries.
Yeah, they're stupid expensive. Well, they're not.
335 for a little 12
These are
volt.
my
Because they can.
Is that a lot? 335?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, it should never have lasted 14 years.
Oh, that's great. Oh, my God.
But I know why.
But it didn't. Why?
I actually do know why.
And it,
Because a guy that rebuilds batteries,
and it didn't hold the charge after that. That was the problem with it.
when they rebuild batteries, they sell rebuilt batteries. I buy them all the time. They cut the top off. On the bottom, the plates at the bottom starts getting thin at the bottom. They trim them off. The thinness. Well, now the sediment that works its way up and shorts the plates has to go twice as far to get to short the plates out now.
But doesn't it lose some
I
power by
don't
trimming
know
it?
if I completely understand that, but
Yeah.
The plates extend almost to the bottom of the.
if you're
The sediment builds up at the bottom.
okay,
And that's
if you're
a
going
short
to and it shorts, I get it.
Shorts.
If you short and if you want to keep your battery and you store your plane, what's the best way to keep it discharged?
Keep it charged.
Keep it charged.
The acid doesn't keep.
Wait, for like an extended period, for a year or two.
Yeah, I just leave a trickle charge on.
This battery I left for 12 years without touching it because I literally gave up fixed wing flying for that long because I was just so into rotorcraft. And then when I finally went and got it, I was in one of his hangars and I just kept everything up there. until I actually consolidated everything. When I went there and gave it a charge, it worked, and it kept working for about a year and a half.
You didn't trickle charge it?
Never.
Those batteries.
No, I did it after the 12-year period. I did.
Okay.
Then it worked without any charge for a year and a half.
Concord. Yeah.
When you say trickle charge, you mean the battery tender, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's right.
battery tender. Yeah.
They are spectacular.
Yeah, but there. I have one that you can set maximum amperage, so it'll go up to 10 amps, but it trickles down and maintains. It's automatic, right? And then it shuts off. That's a tender and a charger.
Yeah.
I also have a 75, whatever it is, for 75 amp for starting. You can jump with it.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I'm going to give the name Joe Lazzara. Put it in your pocket and keep it for criminal defense and DUI, driving while smoking, if you are impaired at all, or drinking is criminal. So you need a defense attorney. I want you to know that this can be prevented. Joe doesn't need any help getting business. So I recommend him because he's the best, not because we want to encourage drinking and driving. I just have to say that because it's not easy, even after you get him involved. And minimum, you're going to spend $5 to $10 grand. You are. He does flat rate pricing, by the way, depending on your offense. But here's what you do. Uber and Lyft is a lot cheaper than $5 to $10 grand. It could be like $8,000, right? So you want to remember Uber and Lyft, designated drivers, and also just don't try to calculate. They do have handheld breathalyzers that are better than ever now. And that does help, okay? Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. Okay, Dr. Mike Hederscheid is with us. He's a chiropractor, and he's with us, and he's here to say hi. Do you give, this is a strange question, do you sell gift certificates?
Yeah, we can sell some gift cards for you.
Do you actually do them? Do you actually have them to make out, or do you just...
I would make them custom to what the person needed. Yeah,
that would be cool. For a complete evaluation, thermal scan, and all that, it's $50. That would be a good gift. Let's talk now. Tim talked about being anonymous and leaving reviews, and he says he likes to leave his name if he can, especially with positive reviews. We have some open lines at 303-713-TALK. Okay, so get right in, 713-8255. Also, 303-MARTINO is tended 24/7. And we pick up and use those messages to call you back, or you can go straight on the air now, 303-MARTINO. That's 303-627-8466. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook. You can live on the iHeartRadio app, live at referralist.com. Plus, you can download us all over the place. Now, Tim, I said to hang on because I wanted to ask you a quick question. Ready? You ready?
Yes, sir.
Your last positive experience, what is it? Positive, great.
My last positive, great experience
yes.
Was a brewery in Greeley.
Tell me what happened.
Great service, fantastic product, attentive bartenders. So I left an amazing review. And
cool.
I'm glad to put my name on it. And even though I really, for positive reviews, I really don't need to put my name on it. I want the review to speak for itself. So
okay, yeah. Now your last negative experience.
It's been a while. It was actually another brewery in Larimer County, and I just didn't feel like it was more about the service. I don't care if they don't have the best brew. I'm a home brewer. I like the craft beer stuff, and but it was just a really bad customer service experience, and I left my the date, the time, and
boy, you like drinking though at the breweries, don't you?
Well, sure. I mean,
nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that because both your positive and negative experience revolve around beer.
It's a culture, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling. We appreciate you listening to Ravenel. Go ahead. What's happening, Ravenel? Or is it Ravenel? Hello? Maybe neither. Hello? Okay, I guess she's not there. We'll move on. Rick, what's going on with you, Rick? Welcome.
Hey, Tom. I know you've helped me out in the past, and thank you for what you do.
Sure, man.
I took my Volvo over to a place, a garage here, and
wait. You have a Volvo?
Yeah, I know.
You know, no. They're understated. They're understated. There's nothing sexy about them. They're just understated. They're very reliable, well-built cars, and they just don't have any pizzazz, man. Anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, it had a I believe a head gasket on it, and so I took it in there. They got that fixed.
What year, make, and model, Rick? What year, make, and model?
It's a 2000 V70.
Okay.
And they got everything done. Then the O2 sensor light came on, and he's been trying to work. Now the car doesn't run at all.
How many miles on it?
Well, it has 169,000.
All right. And
it's bought and paid for.
Yeah. The repair they did was what?
They did a head gasket, timing belt, water pump.
Oh my God, this is major stuff.
Oh yeah. And so he had it running, but then the O2 sensor came on.
Yeah, it sounds like he didn't time it properly when he put the belt back on. But here's the deal: how much were all those repairs?
Around $2,500, which is pretty good.
Now listen, that was extraordinary. But what I want to know is this, because to me, this guy's got to get it running unless there's something completely independent. But with a major repair like that, there's almost nothing he can say just happened by coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences.
He took apart the computer and the wires to it and then tried to put them back in. He said there was computer wires.
All right. What is it going to take to fix?
I don't know.
What is he willing to do? Because I think you should tow it to a dealer and give him the bill.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's wrong. He's had it for almost 3 months now.
Well, come on, Rick. It's unreasonable. The guy's got to fix it. What's the name of his shop?
Well, I haven't paid him a penny either.
Well, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's doing this on purpose. He's obviously trying to help, or he would have just thrown you out the door. So what's the name of the shop? I want to call. What's the name of it?
Well, it's called Latinos. They're on 20 South Navajo or something like that.
It's called Latinos?
Yeah, Latinos.
Okay, and does he do foreign cars, or what is it? Latinos?
Well, I found out he's got 2 other Volvos in the back.
How did you find them? How did you find them?
It was through my sister.
Okay, listen. I would do this, okay? It sounds like something very simple in the reassembly. He literally cannot get your car to run. Is that right?
That's right. It was running, and now it's not running.
All right, we're going to call him. Hold on. Deputy Clint, let's give him a call and just ferret it out. I'm not sure this is a big deal, but he's going to have to at some point relinquish and say, take it somewhere else, and we'll take care of it. I mean, obviously. Brian, what's happening?
Yeah, I'd like to give some kudos to Dr. Mike that's there today.
Dr. Mike Hederscheit, go ahead. What's your kudos?
Well, a couple of months ago, I went in there. I could hardly stand up. My lower back was hurting so bad, and I've seen Dr. Mike for the past 2 months. My back feels great. He's the nicest guy, and I would recommend him to anyone that has any back problems.
Thank you. Now, were you surprised as I was? And I want you to be completely open here. He doesn't care. I want you to be open. Were you surprised at how light the adjustments were in relation to other adjustments you've had in the past? And maybe even so light you thought, is this doing anything? Have you ever thought that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I asked him to show me the tool that he uses.
Yes.
I couldn't believe that's what he was using. I was expecting, to be twisted and turned.
That's right.
It works great. It's fantastic. It's amazing how well that works.
You have to wait for the results, and you're right, because here's the deal. Tiny, tiny, tiny little nerves cause all of that blockage, which eventually goes into major deals. Now, here's how I know that that's true. I had Dr. Dr. Schultz from Centeno Schultz here yesterday, okay? Now, here's the deal. They have, by the way, our seminar's tonight. It's tonight at 6:30 DTC. I don't see them on the log here, but we really have to remind people tonight. So avoidsurgerytoday.com. Go right there and register. It's at the Tech Center, Marriott. Okay, listen. So he's here, and you know what he said to me? He said, Tom, you have some stiffness in your lower back. I said, yeah. He says, a lot of people think they don't have a problem, but if a tiny nerve, and this is what, by the way, chiropractors preach all the time, good chiropractors, they show the back and how it relates to everything. And he said, so often we treat the lower back for knee problems, ankles, feet, legs. He said they come in and swear to God they need something done, and we say it's your lower back because a tiny nerve in your back can cause major problems in the future that all of a sudden you start losing use of your leg, the muscles start atrophying, you start getting more pain, then because you're favoring it, the other side on your hip goes bad, and all of this cascade of problems begin from one tiny nerve. So that little tiny nerve, obviously they treat with stem cell therapy and all of that to feed and help the body restore itself. What Dr. Mike Hederscheit does is even before that, you treat the nerves. What are you doing to that nerve? It's such a light adjustment, but that nerve creates all the major problems. So you may think, I need to be cranked and cracked, but you don't. So what are you exactly doing with that targeted tool? You plunge it in, you go click, and it does what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm going to ask you straight up, because to the uninformed or someone used to a lot of cracking and turning and twisting, they're going to think you didn't do anything.
No, good point. So what I'm doing is using an instrument called an integrator that fires at a frequency of 1/10,000th of a second. Now I pinpoint based on the technology that he uses, the thermography scans, X-rays, palpation, all that.
Yeah.
Target the area specifically with a line of correction, and then when I adjust it, it just resets the frequency and allows the nerve to basically be freed up to for your body to utilize.
Are you moving stuff out of the way of the nerve, or what? Why is the nerve freed up?
The idea is the nerve, the frequency gets because of the subluxation, the frequency gets disrupted and goes in increments of 64 hertz, and then
the nerve causes the subluxation, then the subluxation involves more nerves.
Correct. Yeah, it kind of goes back to both. So I corrected at the nerve setting, and then that will shift the body to the bones, the tendons, ligaments, all that on the way to.
The idea of physically moving the body into alignment, that's not really what you do.
Correct. Yeah. Don't need to do that. So I reset the frequency.
The body knows where it's supposed to be.
The body exactly knows where it's supposed to be. Yep.
And so you put it back to where it's supposed to be. And it's kind of like that gentle massage that you know, I'm talking about Flexident. When they take out a dent, he told me he's just releasing the tension so the memory of the metal goes back to where it is. He says if it's fresh metal and the dent is fresh, it wants to go back to where it was. And he just gently massages it into place. Of course, you can always go to a body shop that grinds it, fills it, covers it, looks great, but that memory, it did not go back to its original memory. So it really is something to be seen and to be felt. Anyway, I digress. We have a lot more to talk about. 303-713-TALK. I want to know, are people more rude in your opinion? And do you believe social media has emboldened people to be more rude and to be obnoxious? I, for one, think it has created more narcissism. I mean, God Almighty, if I hear another person tell me what they're doing with their baby, here's my baby and me, my love machine. I mean, it's like, who cares, okay? If you're happy, just be done with it, okay? Go screw your heads off. I don't have to hear about it. And then, you know, here's me and my love machine working out on the beach, and here's me and my man having dinner, and here's me and my hot mama. Honest to God, it's like you're bombarded with Christmas cards now every 5 minutes instead of waiting once a year to see this trip down Narcissist Lane. Okay, Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. They are wonderful people, and they do free trial periods. Of course, you have to pay for evaluations and a regular visit like anyone, but don't put it off. It's time to address that hearing problem and that tinnitus problem. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center will help you. And Dr. Patty, Dr. Lisa, Dr. Dagmar, they're wonderful, wonderful women, and they're at Clarkson and Hamden. the second floor of that building. The first floor is urgent care. Go see them. They're dedicated to helping people with the very best and latest technology. 303-534-0163. That's 303-534-0163.
They don't come to work till 11.
That's what I told him. I told Mark, if I wasn't getting relief, I would have thought you'd do the same.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, there's literally, I have percentages of people that even the first little couple clicks, they jump off the table and they're like, everything's gone.
Oh God.
And they're like, I can't believe it. And some people it takes 20 minutes, and then some people it takes a few visits, and then okay.
I didn't do it.
No matter what.
I hate your hours.
The hours are tough
for me. I honest to God, man, I just found myself.
I love where you're at.
I love his location. You'll never have a
Over the last 4 days,
there.
I learned the hard way about what happens when the nerve comes out of your spinal cord, innervates. I've had 6 back surgeries in my back, and I did something really stupid on Thursday. I don't even want to say it. My wife finds out she'd kill me, but I hurt my back. The nerve that goes out to make your gut work, went dead.
Completely dead.
Yeah, no soft noises, no intestinal noises.
There's no sounds in your stomach.
No sounds at all.
Nothing digested or anything.
No. I got a steroid shot this morning.
Yeah.
And within an hour, it's gurgling.
A nerve. That's scary. You're in the hospital then.
Yeah, I was in Anthony.
Yeah.
But, they didn't know what it was for a long time. I mean, because they figured it was now obstruction, when you don't have anything moving. But it was just the nerve. It's the nerve. Wow. That's how powerful, I mean, the nerve. God, it hurts when I have your stomach just do this like a pregnant. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until I put it down.
One day you're going to have to make believe and come see me.
I'd squeeze you in between the other dogs. Yeah. Actually, I don't really have problems with that. I've had those 6 fusions, and there was nothing there to give me grief.
That's just pain, though. That's functional.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because I didn't realize how a function like that shut down completely. I never realized you could have a function like that shut down completely.
Your stomach wasn't talking. Whoa!
No. It was like dead silent.
What's kind of cool is with the technique I used, they did a double-blind study on it too, with sham adjusting.
Pardon me.
Yeah.
Tons of messages for you today. This guy called. Apparently, you've been helping him with an all-in-one home remodel ripoff, Peter. And then so we got him in touch with Genesis Total Exteriors. Does this sound familiar to you? He asked for you specifically.
Okay, maybe, but
And anyway, now he's having problems with Genesis. I just figured you could. Genesis is our people.
Yeah, I know.
Because usually the problem is that they don't. We're so busy.
Or the problem is that maybe it's the common denominator, the client.
I'll take that. You want me to take that PTA?
Do you want to call him?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll call him afterwards.
That's a guy, I think.
But he called today?
Mike Wolf, who was doing Ross's show today for
Gotcha.
Shannon, said the guy called like an
Okay,
hour
I'll come
before.
next break. I'll come in there and call.
Thank you.
I like getting cracked. Because I think that what they say is what just the cracking and stuff releases endorphins. So, right?
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah.
It does.
The more people I see, the more stories I hear about. Oh, my sister got her neck manipulated, and now she had to get some crazy nerve surgery because it damaged her neck, and through that kind of too forceful of an adjustment.
Well, you know what? If they were in there for an adjustment, they probably had their neck hurt before.
Yeah,
I'm talking like actual surgery need to get done on it.
Wow. Yeah.
But they actually
someone told me that.
said it was because it was too.
Yeah, they were able to. I mean, there's no way of knowing for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they can say that you can get into a car wreck and have major whiplash and not break your neck or not hurt your neck. And then why would an adjustment cause any damage. It's a manual.
When's the last time you cracked anybody?
Years and years when I had to, when I was forced to.
When you first started out?
No, it was in school. Yeah, I didn't do that in practice. I've never adjusted that way in practice.
You just done
Yeah, because I did thousands of adjustments before I even got out of school. Because I was president of the technique club. And so I was able to, I learned my craft way before, yeah. But I still had to go through the motions and do it if they wanted me to.
Sure. But the integrator, they
in chiropractic school, would you guys adjust each other practicing and stuff?
Yeah, we have student clinic too.
Can you do harm with that?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Unless you did.
Hi, Tom Martino here. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Buyandbuild.net. I give that website because it'll give you a taste of what's going on at Buy and Build 4800 Washington Street. Courtney Pierce and his family started this big, giant warehouse. Plenty of parking, easy to get to off of I-70. And you know what's great is the selection. First of all, plumbing fixtures and electrical fixtures, literally pennies on the dollar, brand new. And they have cabinets, the Shaker line, beautiful cabinets. Again, fractions of the cost you would pay anywhere else. It's below wholesale. Send your contractor, send your handyman, or go yourself. It doesn't matter. He'll sell to the public, he'll sell to contractors, all for the below wholesale price. Buyandbuild.net, 4800 Washington Street. Welcome. Let's talk. Mike, you're on the air with Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK. What is on your mind, Mike?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for Dr. Mike.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my daughter has had surgery. She's 15 years old. She's had surgery 3 times on her hip.
What was it for?
It started with a torn labrum, and then she had total reconstruction of the muscles that are around the hip.
Was it due to a sports injury?
Well, that's what, yes. She fell during a basketball game and tore the labrum. So we went in to have that fixed, and that didn't fix the issue. And we're still not at a point to where she's been fixed.
Ah, that's too bad. Is she in a lot of pain?
Yes. And right now, we've gone yesterday to Centennial's Schultz.
What did they say?
She's a unusual case.
What did they think? Because they say that hips are the hardest thing to treat.
Correct, and he's talking about doing stem cell, but we're going to go get an MRI of her back, because one of the issues, and that's what I wanted to talk to Dr. Mike about, was her glutes aren't firing.
They're not firing.
They're not firing, and they're thinking that maybe there's something with the lower back. Now we're going to get an MRI of her lower back to see if everything there is okay.
So my question for you is, what kind of symptoms is she having right now?
It's just a lot of pain. Her IT band locks up. I think it's her IT band locks up. Her leg will lock up sometimes, but mainly it's just pain.
Is it similar to what she had? Did she have it before the injury?
Yeah, all the symptoms pretty much that she's had before is back.
Well, before the actual injury, did she have?
No, not before the actual injury.
Okay.
And she's also got elasticity in her joint.
Now, you didn't say they rebuilt her whole hip, did you?
Not the bones, just the muscles and they took out the what did I just say that tore? I'm sorry.
The IT, anything to do with that? It doesn't matter.
No.
When you say, did they actually reattach muscle fiber?
Yes.
Okay. And
they put in cadaver muscles in there.
Nerve damage is common with that kind of surgery. Did not the surgeons tell you, or the doctors, that could come back naturally on its own?
It could, but the problem is her hip is still, the muscles are still popping out. It's like her.
Oh.
It's not actually healing, and that's why we're thinking the stem cells would help.
A problem could have been too that she had a underlying weakness to her back before the injury, which caused the injury to happen in the first place. Correct. And that's why it came back, is because it was never. Yeah. The surgery was to fix the hip, but it didn't correct the back problem that needs to get fixed.
You can definitely help in a lot of cases nerves to regenerate faster and to get nourishment, right? I mean, that's what chiropractic does.
Right. Yeah, we can give good good nutrition to the nerve and allow it to heal a little bit faster than it would without chiropractic care.
You know, you ought to do an evaluation with your daughter and see what the heck is going on. It certainly is not expensive to talk to him and get it examined. But I also think that Dr. Centeno, Dr. Schultz, that these guys are really good. And really, did they mention to you their offshore clinic?
No, what do you mean offshore?
Okay. In the United States, you cannot manipulate stem cells to where they do the most good. Now listen, I'm not saying they don't do good, they do very well. Living stem cells taken from your body and re-injected is going to do wonders. However, the first treatments Dr. Centeno did years ago is when he would take them out and concentrate them to pure stem cells and then re-inject them. Then the FDA decided that it is a drug when you do that, and you can't do a drug without testing, even though it's coming from your own body and going back to your body within 15 minutes or whatever. They say it's a drug. So technically, they could not do that anymore. That's why all the stem cell clinics, they take out stem cells and redeliver them on site if they're giving you living stem cells. And that's precisely why the fake ones who send amniotic fluid and all that in, they can't possibly give you living stem cells because it would be illegal to concentrate them. So really, the only way to get maximum benefit for major injury like you're talking about would be to go to their Cayman Island clinic. It's a wonderful, legal, wonderful clinic. It's not shady, but you're just simply doing more concentrated stem cells, and you can do it in a couple days and a weekend and come back. And you ought to talk to them about both of those. And then, of course, I would do the least invasive first, which is Dr. Hederscheid. I mean, that certainly isn't going to take a lot of doing to have that done, and it's not going to certainly do any harm. But you ought to consider that. Are you going to that seminar later, or did you get enough information when you talked to them?
No, I got enough. We had a consultation with them yesterday. So
Excellent. Excellent. I wish you the best. But the answer is Mike does think, Dr. Hederscheid does believe he can do benefit there, especially with nerves not firing. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I told you about buy and build, right? And that's for saving money. What about Art of Granite? You know, Mitch Floria is so confident about his prices at Art of Granite, he wants you to know about them. So he'll give you a price on the phone. How can he do that? Because every job is different, right? Not really for him, and here's why. If he knows the basic shape, he charges by the square foot for fabrication and installation. He doesn't have to worry about the material because he doesn't mark up wholesale on any of it. So whatever that is, he'll pass through to you, whether you buy from him or someone else. The other thing, cabinets, small markup from the manufacturer. And he tears out and hauls away free. He does the bathroom free. So if you need a price, it's not a big, long, drawn-out affair. He'll give you a price, 303-386-5919. That's how confident he is, and you can be too. artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919.
What's happening? Centeno Schultz thing tonight?
Yeah.
Okay.
You went before, though, didn't you?
Yeah, you've been to so many of them. He went to an intensive class learning.
Yeah, but it's the same thing that they had at the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You will get absolutely nothing there.
Okay.
Not a lot of.
We will get,
Westbound I-76 to Highway 52 near Hudson, and some emergency road work southbound I-25.
We're not as well versed as you are.
Weather forecast. Mostly sunny today.
They got a book.
55. Right now, partly cloudy in the Mile High City, and it's 51.
Judy's been reading too. They have a book they put out. Pretty good.
K-How. A glass of wine.
Schultz?
Yeah.
Sidewalk under the stars.
I think I told you, my God, they did a 3-hour evaluation.
Yeah, he was saying that yesterday on the air. They spent a lot of time on that evaluation.
They did.
And most insurance companies, I didn't realize this, will pay for that evaluation. They won't pay for the stem cells.
Yeah. But it was really, really thorough.
Okay, they can start it on the 7th, the new clock.
Cool. So what are you taking, the 25th through the 7th?
That's the same thing I have.
Roughly?
Right.
Because I think the 20th or the 23rd, whatever it is, you know what I'm
Is
saying.
that what it was, stopping it?
Yeah, that's right, 2 weeks.
Just outside here. It's already
Right in the
fused.
community now, kind of.
Yeah.
I got you.
It's a guided.
Friday that week and the next week.
Yeah.
You guys gonna end up going somewhere?
Because we really have the best. It's a good time for you. I want you to do what look back on the year. I think it would be fun. Let's come up with the top points.
I do that every year when you're off.
Let's decide on what we want to call the top, let's say 5. We know that, we know stem cell and and contractors are in there, then we'll pick some.
And
If you ask me a question, I'm sorry, I don't, Mark, as far as out of town, we're gonna do a little out of town, but we're not sure we're going to the same old place. We're not sure yet.
What's that?
We're doing these, we're trying to get these last minute deals.
Started having,
We don't care where we go, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
We're gonna see
surprise.
real, I mean, they have some incredible last minute deals.
no noises.
Like, because they can't fill them up.
Remember that new place here opens up too.
Saturday night. I went to say that Saturday.
Gaylord.
And they found themselves.
What is
that?
Oh man, Gaylord is top notch, bro.
That giant hotel.
Oh my God,
When is that open?
it's the 18th.
Aren't they booked already? Like,
No, you can find some things. There's nothing. I mean, Gaylord's the real deal, man.
Yeah.
We're going the 23rd.
You know that guy is.
Well, the first time.
What guy?
I think that guy from Colorado gave
All got home.
Is he really?
I think so.
It's top notch shit, man. 7, 8 restaurants, huge 24/7 exercise.
You know, I had never, before this, I had never heard of them. Have you?
Oh yeah.
Where did you hear about it?
There's one in, I think Texas has one. They're all over.
Where's the one in Denver?
Right by the airport. Yeah.
Keeps just doing that over and over.
Yeah.
Look at the size of that.
It's called Gaylord Boulevard.
Look at the size of that thing. It is so massive. It's probably the nicest. It's nicer than, where do you guys go in the springs you really like? Yeah, I think you would like this better. And it's closer.
I'm surprised with
They're much more than us. They say they can't control their own that really.
I wanted to get there for,
an enzyme.
we ended up getting the 23rd just because of availability.
An enzyme. We will keep reproducing.
I think most things are going to be.
Brown recluse is the same thing.
They've got a deal for locals.
Right there.
But I think it's over now. You can look
right there.
It's on their website.
They become incredible.
But we ended up like right around 200 with resort fees and everything else. But it's just for locals, and it's only for like the first 3 weeks are open.
That's shark.
And it's a standard.
If I got a stingray, stingray.
I am really shocked you've never been in one.
A stingray.
What are you doing? Living life, right?
Been struck by lightning, blown up by gas.
You been struck by lightning too?
Yeah.
What'd that feel like?
I don't. Nothing.
Oh, knocked you out?
Don't remember any of it.
Wow.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, DenverEgressWindow.com, DenverEgressWindow.com. There's 3 things you can have them do. Put in a brand new egress window, brand new, punch through the foundation, put in a window well, or you can have them rebuild the one that the builders did, where they put in that, corrugated steel, that ugly stuff, or you can have, an older house, like you're in, Wash Park or Bonnie Bray or those neighborhoods where they have those little tiny windows. Well, you can make them full size for real egress for safety for your family. So you have those 3 options, of course. 720-626-4221. The Senate family behind this company, they have Senate windows, and they're great people. DenverEgressWindow.com. 720-626-4221. We got a question for Dr. Mike Hederscheid. Go ahead, John. What's your question?
Hey, I had a ulnar nerve decompression in August.
What's that?
That's your ulnar nerve that runs down from your neck down into your hand, operates your little finger and your ring finger.
Okay.
Basically, it's your funny bone.
Okay.
When you hit your funny bone, and that that's the nerve in your arm there.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
So what they do is they slice your elbow open, and they go in there and they redirect that ulnar nerve, and it's supposed to help.
Okay.
Well, I had it done in August, and now starting like last week, I've got arm pain once again, like I had before I had the procedure done.
Wow.
What can he help me with?
Have you ever treated people with ulnar nerve problems?
All the time. Did they check your neck at all?
Yes, I had 2 MRIs. Both of them show I have bone spurs in like C6, 7 in there. The surgeon that I seen never even mentioned working on those. He went straight to the ulnar nerve.
Yeah, which is weird. That's always the way it is, and almost every problem doesn't originate where the symptoms occur.
Right. Yeah. They have a tendency to look exactly where the symptom is and address that before even looking where it could be coming from.
Yeah.
But
so anyway,
yeah,
what would you suggest?
Yeah, we could take a look at your neck. Usually C5 through T1 is what controls your hands. I believe it's C6 is what controls your ulnar nerve, that nerve root. So if there's any sort of encroachment there, it's going to continue to be an issue unless it's resolved.
And how long usually of treatment does something like that take?
Everyone's different. Some people, a few visits. Some people it takes a little bit longer depending on how long it's there.
And then you said in rare cases you have people come right off the table the first time and say, oh my God.
Yep, sometimes one adjustment fixes it for you.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Their number, 720-583-4506. Is that the number you use normally?
Yep, that's the number.
Okay.
Or the website works too.
Yeah, I love BrightonYourFamily.com. It's so easy to remember. Okay, hold on. Danny, go ahead, Danny. What's going on with you? What's happening, man?
Hey, I'm sorry. I may have the conversation cut short. My battery's almost gone.
What happened?
Probably I'm going to call you back.
Okay, no, I understand. What's going on?
I have an issue with the Ferranda High Ponte apartment. The one that the
what is the landlord? What's the landlord doing? What are you upset with?
If you're breaking the lease on the contract, because we just bought a house,
I understand, and you want to get out of your lease. What about it?
Yes, they fine you 4 months.
Well, technically, Danny. Technically, depending on how your lease is written, they can charge you the entire lease.
Okay.
Yes, technically. I mean, now, if they charge you the entire lease, they would have hell to pay if they tried to rent it out, because then you could say that they're double dipping and they already mitigated their loss. But if you want to hold on, we can discuss this in fuller detail, and we can tell you how to approach them, okay? Also, Robert, stick around, and Shalita, we will get to your calls. I'm Tom Martino. We love what we do for you. Please give us a call.
Nick?
Hey, Dan.
Yep.
Hey, see if did I ban that Travis Storm? He's some idiot. Can you see if he's one of the guys I
I
banned?
thought it would be back right away. I just got to call him at
If you just send it there, I'll know what to do.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
I don't know why that's so familiar. I think he's one of these guys, anything I say or do, I'm always an asshole. Not saying he's wrong.
Nerve surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, they cut them all the way down their arm. They pull it around to the inside.
Okay, here's her license.
It's right on his ulnar nerve. Yeah,
When's the expiration
What they
date?
do is they
Looks good.
start. Yeah, they go like
Daphne, it looks good to me. Let's give her the card.
way down.
Open the whole thing up.
The whole thing has oh, I think they have to cut out too. Wow. It's a lot of stitches.
I've seen the carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah.
They'll just cut the wrist up, and then usually the whole thing just comes short.
Well, I thought they take the and hollow out the bone.
This car we're giving this lady.
The retinacular ligament.
I mean, it'll work good for her, but man, is it ugly when it runs.
There's a ligament that goes right across
Right,
it.
right.
They'll just open it.
Yeah, like on plantar fasciitis, they just cut the.
You don't need that. Just cut it off.
Can you do something for carpal tunnel?
All the time.
Really?
All the time, yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's pretty
If
cool.
it is in fact coming from the wrists, which most of the time it's not, but if it is, a lot of the little bones in here can get pushed into alignment and it cracks it a lot.
My sister-in-law had 2 surgeries for that.
Yeah.
For what?
Carpal tunnel in her hands.
Well, most of the time it's from the neck though.
Really? Because I thought hers was, I thought the nerve was swelling from usage.
If it is, I can still realign all the bones in the wrist because they're so small in there. They all can be adjusted.
Okay.
My ex-brother-in-law had
I gotta call him after the show. That's a Kia thing where they didn't.
Still
I
had
thought
the same
they.
pain.
She was in an
No,
army.
where are you
She
hearing
thought
it from him?
Until
Where?
he his back.
He just emailed me this back.
What?
This is the one from the other. I forwarded it to you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, here, I'll forward it to you then, Suzanne.
Well, she would have it too.
Oh, which was in health? I
Yeah.
missed
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Okay.
So it was, you know.
Somebody's irritated?
No, it's some prick that loves his Christmas parties where everybody sits at different tables or whatever. He's an idiot.
Are you going to email him back?
I already did email him back.
He likes Christmas parties with everybody.
Oh,
He likes Christmas parties.
He's just like, if Mark says black, he'll say black kind of thing.
But what I'm saying is, if everybody sits at a different table, then you don't get to talk with
all the way
everybody.
back in our books.
Let me look. Sometimes I
He
can
probably
find
doesn't
stuff.
like
So let
to
me
talk
look.
That's my name, but
Let me have that so I can look at his phone number.
I'll be glad
this
to
guy.
help him.
I know you will.
But
He specifically asked me,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
he specifically
The Peter?
He specifically asked.
Yeah.
I need to call this.
Axed.
I said to Tom one time, I said, I specifically don't agree with your dictation. And it took him about 5 seconds to process all the mistakes.
Yeah. Got that. Use that term axed.
I don't like that.
I asked him. It's
That's-
even hard to say.
I know.
You literally had to be brought up saying it that way. Then it's hard to say the other way. But I get it. It's
Rush
hard.
Limbaugh, I think, does it. I don't think
To bust balls,
Right.
as they say.
I'm really curious though.
You know, I haven't listened to him for, my God, I can't even think of the
I
last
don't
time.
either. I would love to go to orientation for Chick-fil-A and find out what. Well,
you're just hoping to get some chicken.
Well, yeah.
I think it's in Georgia, their headquarters, right?
Well, no, but I mean, if they hired someone here,
I think so.
I don't think they sent them to Georgia for maybe a manager.
They might.
I love their little biscuit things. I'll bet you you'll eat the whole bread and everything.
I thought the headquarters.
I just talked to Kevin Culkin, the 2005 smoking. He said, and he said it's a Hemi and too expensive.
Which one is that? That's
The 2005 Chrysler. What was the one you were telling
Oh,
me?
it already showed up? The engine's bad? Okay.
Said it's smoking like a train.
We can get rid of it, get $400 though.
Yeah.
Put
Okay.
STP. Put STP in it.
So that's not going to work.
Okay.
The can of no smoke.
And I asked him about putting a wheelchair in the back of the stick shift. That's not going to work.
Oh, well, there goes that.
Well,
It's too
he
small
said,
a car.
he goes, he said, maybe have them come out and see. He said, it depends on, and I said, no, it's a 15-year-old. I said, so it's going to be a regular size wheelchair. So.
And I just said it was good to go.
That's a small
It is
car.
good. It is good to go.
No, not if they can't use it.
Oh, no, but it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we
He's going
find
to make sure
something
it's up and running. I'm starting to think I might.
Why don't you try to give it to that one homeless lady that had no driver's license? You did that
Whoa,
one
whoa.
time.
Wait. Hey, wait. What about if they give
You
that to
didn't ask her.
Willie B? Because he fixes that. So maybe he would see if he wants that car.
Did they fill in for TSG
Well, I have
too?
another thought for it too.
Did who?
Okay.
Did someone nominate him for TSG? That woman?
Mechanic special?
No, but I did do a nomination.
I got
So
on
I'm
the
going to
title,
call
I just
Tim
put
and
the
see
money.
if maybe we can
We
try.
could get a lot of cars from
No, not cool.
shops. What are we talking about? Don't get the people ever pick their car up.
I think he got enough nominations. Sometimes he keeps it open if they haven't gotten enough.
I got
So I
a sister
don't
who
know.
does.
Well, that's up to him. Yeah.
And so if we could take the money we put
But,
in that account, convert
yeah,
that
so
to
now
tires,
it's
we could
like,
get other cars.
I was thinking the 2005 would have been
No, I
perfect.
agree.
for
Wasn't
it.
there another one?
It's
That's
already,
going to
that's
Grandpa.
what Jim, great-grandpa did.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Are we giving him some cash too?
Yes.
We want to be there for that one. That one we
Yeah.
got to do. I want to do video.
That'll
thought
be,
he was
hand
gonna
him
do
some
it
green
here.
bags.
that'll be at my house today, that one, because I gotta blow up a tire for the battery in it.
Oh, the car will be.
Good.
Yeah, the Mercury. And then what I thought we'd do, once it's cleaned up, is have him come here.
Bring it to discount. Get a free flat repair, man.
Oh, the tire just went down for being sitting for 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So I think it's,
Yeah, okay. You think it's fine.
but did you hear what, I contacted Kevin and Al Aramis, they have cars all the time that they're stuck with because the people didn't pay the bill.
Yeah, but but if you've
When they
got
go through
someone
the
in
process-
DMV that can help us,
Well,
yeah.
I've got somebody who can help us. It's $150, between $100 and $150 to get the title, and they don't want to screw with us. That's why they just soon give us the car. But if we do things like that Chrysler and sell it as a parts vehicle, that gives us the funding to pay for titles. So I'm saying?
This guy Travis.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It really is.
He just sent this. He just sent this email. He's a total idiot. I can't stay. I think he does it to get under my skin, like how I bother you.
With the monkeys, you mean?
With the monkeys and the Beatles.
Oh, I thought you were really doing
It's such a first world
The
problem.
Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, and I love doing what I do for you. Let's get right to it, okay? How about that? 303-713-TALK. We are live all over the place. You just got to find us online, Facebook, YouTube. You can download us. You can go to the iHeartRadio app on your phone. You can go to referralist.com. So Danny was about to ask about something. He was last hour, but I think I got what he wanted. People, when you sign up for a contract, you are obligated to fulfill the contract. Technically, they have to have a loss, which means if you sign a lease for a year and you leave after 6 months, they can technically charge you the next 6 months every month. But they're required, or let's put it this way, I don't think there's a law that states this, but court precedent shows that people need to mitigate their losses. For example, if you get damage to something, you got to stop the damage. You can't just let things keep leaking. If a guy forgot to connect your ice like that, damn it, and they're going to pay for every single penny of damage if you can simply go turn it off, right? So in this particular regard, if you leave an apartment complex and they start renting it out the month after, you would only be liable for whatever extra cost they incurred to rent it out and all of that, but you'd have to go after them for that if they did not voluntarily stop collecting from you. Now, speaking of contracts, then, what is a contract? Depending on what you read, it is the acceptance of a term. First of all, the intent to enter into an agreement. There has to be an intent. Then there has to be terms, and it's spelled out. And then consideration, though, is the big deal.
And the intention to create a relationship.
Right. So there have to be items for a contract. Now, I want to go over this because, as you know, we had a situation. I just want to really sum it up. I call it a fourth world problem.
See, no, I disagree. We tell people all the time.
It's a first world problem.
Fourth world. We tell people all the time to use small claims. All the time. Are those all first world problems too?
I ask them to use small claims court if I think they have a case.
That's right.
Wait, in addition to what we do. Let me just explain this. Let me just explain this. We made 2 months ago a reservation at Perry's Steakhouse at Park Meadows. And when we showed up, some of our party showed up early. And when 6 o'clock came around, it wasn't ready. The guy said it'll be a few minutes. 6:30 came around. They said, I'm sorry, you know, that party didn't leave. They came in at 4. They still haven't left.
Should be 10 minutes.
At 7 o'clock, he says, well, they just ordered major desserts. At 7:30, now we're an hour and a half past. I go to him and say, look, man, you know, I'm really being nice here and patient, but, you know, you got to be able to solve this problem. He says, we just had a booth open up. And he says, where we can fit people along the wall. It's, you know, bench seating on one side, chairs on the other. But he can only fit a certain number of our party, leaving 6 to sit somewhere else. And I said, now listen, I mean, I appreciate you trying to fix it, but I need to see what you're talking about. And I go and look, and certainly along the back, there's a bench, and then there's chairs. So about 12 people could sit, but 6 of us were hanging out and had to sit at another table, or 4 at one table, and then still 2 displaced. And Mark said, well, you know, you got to make this right. We've been waiting an hour and a half. And he said, and I said,
actually longer than that, but we got there early.
Yeah. I said, there's a couple along those benches that could easily be moved. In fact, they weren't even seated. This is what's really queer, is that these guys were seated there. And then we were seated there, and that party next to us got up and left, so they could have accommodated our whole party.
And that's when Daphne came and said, hey, we finally got it figured out.
But instead, they sat 2 people, like, right then. And so I said, all you have to do right now, this is even before they ordered.
No drinks even.
Move those 2 people just to the table next to them. Then we have that whole back wall bench and the chairs. And this is the part where I really then understood why Mark was so pissed off, because like I said, okay, he tried to make 2-hour windows. It wasn't enough. I understood. But here's the part that really got me, is when all he had to do was move 2 people who hadn't even ordered yet, and all he had to do is move them 3 feet to accommodate an entire party, and he said, no, he will not do that. Then Mark said, I'm leaving. I mean, and I could see, in fact, if I didn't have those people there, I would have left too.
Well, they come. They're volunteers. These are people that volunteer and help people all year long. Some employees, well, actually, only really one employee.
Well,
yeah, regardless. But here we are with mostly volunteers doing this. They like sitting. They like talking about the show. They like sitting with you, Tom. And you've got to sit across the damn room. Imagine if it was a night with, Michelle and Barack Obama, but they're put in a different place. It's ridiculous.
So Mark
it's
left.
A Christmas party.
Mark left and he was pissed off. And we did have a good time, but I will say, for the record, they did not handle it properly. The origination of the problem, I'm not going to lay on their lap. There were reservations that overlapped because that party stayed more than 2 hours. I'm not going there. But they didn't handle it properly. However, I don't believe, technically, we had any loss. Nor do I believe they breached a contract. Mark believes the reservation is a contract, and he believes they breached it, and then technically, to make things right, he got screwed out of that, and he said the whole intent of the party was to have everybody together.
That's right.
And we should do it again, and that's our loss.
And it was booked as a Christmas party.
I understand. Here is where I depart. Again, a contract, according to almost everyone, needs some elements, right? They need an offer.
That was made.
Acceptance.
That was made.
Okay, before you comment, consideration, mutually obligated, meaning it's not all one-sided. A competency or capacity, which of course just means you can't be mentally incompetent.
Yeah.
And then you have to have, in certain instances, written, but most of the time you don't, if everyone agrees to everything. Mark, I don't believe, and then, okay, but then even if you do have a contract and someone breaches it, did you lose anything? For example...
Well, I did this time.
If you did not lose anything. Now, losses I think you can argue, but let's talk about this. Was there consideration? I don't believe there was consideration at all.
I think the consideration most of the time would be a payment. We can agree on this when it comes to a reservation.
So if they took a credit card...
Let's pretend it's a hotel. Or yeah, even the restaurant.
If they took a credit card and would ding you for not showing up,
yes,
it's a contract in my opinion.
And there's the consideration. Now, they might have something on their website that talks about reservations and cancellations.
Let's say they don't charge you for the cancellation.
Yeah.
I don't believe, Mark, that we had a contract with the restaurant and you do.
There has been restaurants that have sued, turn this around, that have sued with only an oral arrangement and reservations and prevailed.
Well, I don't believe that was proper because...
Well, they've prevailed. I mean, what do you mean it's proper? They either did or didn't.
I want to see the case because I just don't believe it. Without consideration, you mean somebody made a reservation.
That's right.
When they showed up, it wasn't ready.
They made a reservation for like 40, like they booked a room for a wedding. It still didn't matter. There was no consideration.
Mark. That might be different.
So this was for 16.
No, but
it's not that far of a stretch, Tom.
Just let me finish a
sentence.
Go ahead. Then you can say
louder is righter.
Here's the point. If they booked a room of 40, I don't know what the terms were, but if I imagine that they were going to be dinged if they didn't show up.
Well, the one I was reading, they actually brought in extra staff. I mean, they not only did they lose that table space, but they also brought in extra staff.
Who got sued? The restaurant?
The restaurant sued the venue? Consumer.
Oh. Okay. The restaurant sued the consumer.
But there was no I'm just going back to your base argument. There was no consideration in that case.
But we don't know what the judge said.
I have a call out. I have a call out to 2 attorneys that specialize in this. Hopefully we get a call back from one of them.
But not only 2, but we can't go to just 2 attorneys who represent people who sue them. We need to look at the other side.
Yeah.
I want to know what people think. I personally do. Now, just let me finish. Do not believe there is a reservation unless there is consideration. Now, consideration can be the dinging of your credit card if you don't show up. That's your consideration.
Okay, wait a second.
Because that's the agreement to pay. Mark, the agreement to pay is consideration. And if they had the agreement to pay for that room for 40 and they did not show up, and if that restaurant would have dinged them...
It is not... you're saying it's so much of a stretch when you make a reservation at a restaurant, that is not your promise to pay? Do you make a reservation?
No, it is not.
My argument is, in my opinion, that's the consideration.
When you make a reservation at a restaurant, you are not promising to pay.
How about if they take your credit card number but don't run it?
You could literally, if they take your credit card number with the intent of running it, listen to this.
What if they don't run it?
Mark, if they have the intent of running it for a reason that's specified. For example, there's a $50 cancellation if you do not show up. Therefore, that is consideration. You have agreed to the $50. We, when we made a reservation, did not agree that we were going to spend a dime. Mark, if I go to a restaurant with a reservation and I'm sitting down and my wife says, you know,
so I
haven't. Just can I finish one sentence?
Go. Yes.
And my wife says, I have a headache. I'm not feeling well. And I say, honey, we're just talking about dinner, not sex. I'm just kidding. No. So if she says, I have a headache, I'm not feeling well, and I say, you know, on second thought, then I don't want to eat. The waiter comes and I says, you know what? We're sorry. We decided we don't want to have anything. And then we leave.
Yeah.
We did not agree. He can't say, but by the way, you agreed to pay us, because I didn't. I agreed to sit down and order if I wanted to. But when you make a reservation, you're not, what are you agreeing to spend? You see, that's
if it's with a hotel, it's whatever their nightly rate is.
Yeah,
with the
hotels
restaurant,
are different.
Well, that's fine, but here
and I want to specifically.
So we could make a reservation at Perry's under your synopsis right there.
Scenario
for 40 people. Okay? Then we all show up and we say, well, you know what? We'll just have a few glasses of water and we're going to hit the bricks.
Well, hold on.
Because maybe that's how I... Go ahead.
Technically, if I made a reservation for 40 people and there was no cancellation, then I went there and we decided to leave. I agree there would be nothing required of us.
Well, here's my final thing.
If we reserved a room... And usually the restaurant will have a fee associated with a big party when you take a room. There is also an agreement. This is consideration if they say you must pay so much per head at least. There are. Sometimes if you take a room, they say it's a minimum of $25 a head.
I want a legal scholar to look at this. If anybody out there's listening, in a reservation with no consideration with what Tom is saying is consideration.
I'm just saying.
I'm still saying the promise is the consideration.
It can be, Mark.
How about in a barter?
Mark, listen.
I'll paint your house, you buy me a car.
Well, you know what? Here's what you need to do. Stop dancing around. You said the promise is consideration.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If there is a promise for consideration.
There is, though.
Wait.
You don't get free food at a restaurant.
If I say to you, I'm making a reservation, and they say, if you do not show up, there is a $100 cancellation fee. I have made a promise
that's the penalty.
to pay $100 for not showing up. I have agreed to that.
Sure.
Therefore, if, however, I make a reservation, that is a promise. It is not a promise for consideration.
How about
it is a promise to show up. It's not a promise to spend a specific amount of money. Mark, I know.
Who creates a reservation? Is it them?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it's ambiguous if it's them.
If you call
I expected to be able to sit 16 people.
All right.
That's simple as that.
I do not believe you had a contract. Now, I do think that there could be a breach of promise, which is different than a breach of contract, and a breach of promise can carry losses. But in this case, I do not believe you can have a legally binding contract. But, however, there are times, I want to make this clear, there are times when a reservation is
of course,
and when a promise to pay is the consideration. If I promise to pay so much per head and we don't, they can charge me for it. I mean, obviously, but we never, when we called Perry's for 14 or 18 people.
But we made a dinner reservation. I mean, there is common sense there that we're going to be spending money on X amount of people.
Then here's how you destroy a contract. You said ambiguity. Ambiguity. Okay, so here it is. How much did you decide to, how much did you
Well, they know what their average
How much did you promise to pay? How much?
Well, you didn't promise to pay anything.
That's right. Therefore, you made no promise for consideration. Suzanne, we're overtime. Is that what you were whispering to me?
Way over.
All right, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And speaking of money, idealhomeloans.com. No ambiguity there. When you want, by the way, you know, you don't have a contract with a mortgage company when you sign an application, because you're just exploring, you're applying. You haven't been approved yet. So Ideal Home Loans will look at your loan application. If you are in process and you're unhappy with the way things are going, you may want a second look at your loan package. Are you paying too much for this? Are you paying too much for that? Is it too expensive? Change your mind. It's fine. Under most circumstances, you did not sign a contract. Ideal would love to look at your loan package. They would also love, of course, to take a shot at your business. Call them at any time, 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Who did you call? You called the guy that obviously is on your side, but did we call anyone on the referral list at all?
There's no one on the referral list can answer this question, man. I thought long
I'll bet you that whatchamacallit would fight us a contract if he was ever shafted.
Who?
You know who I'm talking about. Ben Dinelli. He would argue. He would say, "Fuck you! I bought my 14 people here."
Let's get him on. Let's see
if he's on your side.
See if Ben Dinelli will come on.
I think what Ben would say that there's no promise of that, but if you show up at a restaurant at 6 p.m., isn't there an assumption that you're going to eat?
Well, of course, that's the whole deal. That's the whole problem. Okay, hold on. When you call up and make an appointment to see a property, are you promising to buy it?
Of course not.
You're not promising to fucking spend any amount of money.
No, but I'm looking at a property. I'm not.
No, okay. You make a reservation for a restaurant, all right?
Yeah,
you cancel. What is the restaurant obligated to get from you? Tell me what you owe the restaurant. What do you owe them?
Whatever. I can answer that.
What do you owe them? You don't owe them fucking anything.
Whatever that table might generate would be what I would answer.
Okay. You know, that's a breach of,
by the way, that's
a breach of promise, Mark. You are totally and by the way,
I agree it's a breach of promise.
But here's the deal. Then you have to have detrimental reliance, meaning, was it reasonable to rely on that promise to generate this much income? That is a totally different issue.
Well, around Christmas time in a restaurant like that, it is reasonable.
But the agreement to pay consideration is just that. We never agreed to pay any specific amount. That reservation doesn't have a value.
I so disagree with that logic, because you don't show up for free food. That's different than looking at a house.
Let me ask you this. If you canceled a reservation for 14 people and the restaurant wanted to charge you, would you accept
If they took my credit card number, they simply would charge.
I'm not asking you that. If they said to you, you know, Mark, it's fine that you canceled. We had 14 people.
Would I pay them? No. But if they came after me, I probably would end up paying them thinking, oh, shit.
Okay. You would not lose. If they came after you and said, you know what, we held 14 spaces open for you, I don't think they would. I don't think they would. Unless they made it clear there's a cancellation fee of some kind. I don't know.
I know it goes the other way quite a bit.
It's a fun argument because we're in a gray area that there's...
There's no gray area in what makes a contract. No. The gray area is what do you consider consideration. A promise is consideration.
Really, our only argument is the consideration.
But here's the deal, Clint. A promise can be consideration, but it has to be a promise to pay. I promise to pay this much. Okay? If I have a contract to pay for this car, I didn't give you the money yet, but I promise I'm going to give you $5,000 for this car. If I just said I promise to buy the car, and there's no consideration mentioned, that you could never enforce that.
Yeah, because you don't have a. That's why they put $1 or $10 on a contract. You ever seen that where it's spent $10 or $1 on something? I remember that from somewhere.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell. I'm not
It didn't have to have a consideration amount. You couldn't just. It's a fun, interesting argument.
Detrimental reliance, by the way, is really what a breach of promise is. And that means they relied on your word to the detriment of them.
And medication at no cost. Plus compensation for time and travel. Medical insurance is not required. Call Horizon's Clinical Research Center now at 303-399-4067 or visit HorizonCRC.com for more information and to see if you qualify.
And by the way, here's the other thing about the internet. I promise you I can find a fucking answer that you want.
Boy, you know, that is true. That is true, man.
Amen. By the way, my wife was very impressed with Stephanie.
Oh, that's nice. We prayed for her.
I know.
She loved your wife. She said your wife's a really nice. She could tell.
It was certainly mutual because I heard about it all the way home. God, I didn't know you. Why didn't you tell me? And I have been telling you.
She doesn't listen to you.
Yeah, tune her up.
I didn't say that.
Okay, let's get these comments. I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Simply Floors Inc. will save you money. SimplyFloorsInc.com. Buddy Mitchell and his team, they have extraordinary buying power, being part of an independent buying group of thousands of independent floor covering contractors, and he prides himself at passing the savings on to his consumers along with designer services. 52nd and Ward, they have a showroom southwest corner. But just make your own appointment at home. SimplyFloorsInc.com. You'll be simply thrilled, and you'll certainly save money. Now, Eric's got a comment on the Perry situation. We were talking about quickly if a dinner reservation is truly a contract when no specific amounts of money are mentioned, just a promise to show up with 18 people and they say, okay, you know, it's a reservation. We're talking about that. We're going to try to pick people's brains. Mark thinks he should sue, and I'm not going to go through the whole story every time. You got to listen to the podcast or something. So, Eric, what is your comment?
I just think there's another side to that, because I've showed up for a reservation at 8 o'clock reservation, and at 8:40 I'm still waiting for my table.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Right, and then I've also gotten a doctor's. A doctor's. If you don't cancel within 24 hours, you know, you get hit with an office fee.
You do.
I sat in an exam room for an hour and a half about 3 months ago, and
a lot of people have talked about that, because
it's ironic as hell, man.
You are signing up for an appointment, and then what really would be an argument is if they never saw you, because if you are charged for canceling, I truly believe you should be able to charge them for canceling.
But they made the policy. The difference is that doctor's office has a cancellation policy.
If you agreed to it, you're right. If they said this is our policy, then that's kind of right. So what do you think? Do you think a reservation for, let's 10, 15, it doesn't matter. Obviously it does matter, because I do believe that if you had a reservation for 100 people, now you're getting to where this is weird. This would be really, but let's just say, let's keep it for what this is. A reservation for about under 20 people. Do you think it's a contract? Would you expect to be accommodated?
I do that very often for my work.
Okay.
And I sign a contract when it's that many people. I sign for a minimum amount.
For 14 people?
Yeah, sure. They want a room. If you want a room, that you know.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just going out to eat. Like if you made a reservation at a steakhouse, would you consider it a reservation? I mean, excuse me, a contract. Would you consider it
Nope. If they don't ask for money, if they don't say it's going to be this fee and you agree to pay for it, or you do it on Open Table or somewhere where you
well, even Open Table has a cancellation policy. When you book through, I wish we did book through Open Table. That might be better.
I don't know. I just don't know. I swear I do not know. JR, what's going on with you, JR? Welcome.
Just happened to me. Let me explain it real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
made a reservation at the Broadmoor for 4 people 3 weeks before Thanksgiving.
A reservation for what?
Broadmoor for Thanksgiving buffet.
For the buffet. Got it.
Okay, for the buffet. 3 days later, my girlfriend was like, oh, hey, I found a really good deal at the Cheyenne Mountain Country Club. So it was 30 or 40 bucks less per person. It was 119 at the Broadmoor, 89 over at the Cheyenne. Anyway, long story short, I, of course, forgot to cancel my reservation, so they booked me for $492 at the Broadmoor.
They charged you? Wait, they charged you?
Charged my full credit card because I did not cancel within 24 hours. They charged me for the full reservation of 4 people.
Wait. We're talking about just brunch, not a room.
No, just a Thanksgiving buffet.
Thanksgiving buffet. It's a buffet.
Oh, it was a predetermined price. I got you.
Yep.
So they charge you for 4 of them. I got you.
119 bucks a person, 4 people.
And what did the policy say? What did their policy say?
I don't know about policy. They just said, okay.
And did you sign the policy? Did you acknowledge the policy?
You got 24 hours to cancel. And I forgot to. I just made a reservation somewhere else.
Did they take your credit card at the time you made the reservation?
They did.
I believe that they created a contract with you. First of all, you had the exact amount they were going to charge when you got there. You agreed to pay it. You had a date and a time. I don't see where it's not a contract in that case. I mean, you didn't show up.
Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it.
Well, I'm not saying there's nothing you can do about it. I'm just saying I think that was a contract, and this is not a legal opinion. I just think it sounds a lot like a contract to me.
I bet he never goes there again, though.
I don't know. That's a great brunch, man. Buffet. It's great. Have you ever been there, Jared?
$1.30 a spot. It better be great.
It's $119.
Yeah, it better be. It better be good for 120 bucks a person.
It is so good. It is so good. My God. All right. Danny, sorry about this,
yes,
Danny.
Sir.
Okay, bottom line. You're moving out before the end of the lease. You guys found a house, right?
Yes, we didn't expect to get this house.
I understand.
Soon.
It doesn't matter what the reason is. By the way, congratulations on finding a house. Here's the deal, though. You're going to have how many months left?
So what they said that we have to give 2 months notice, which we didn't because we give them about the.
I understand.
But we paid the 2 months fine. We already paid, and they told us that we can find someone to take over our lease.
Yep.
And we did. We've been doing a good.
Well, hold on. Then that's
called
called mitigated damages. So, Danny, they're saying to you, here's a chance to try to get some of your money back. But you didn't answer me. How many months were left on the lease?
June. It's the last lease. We just got out on the. We left the unit on December.
Okay, so you had January, February, so you had 6 months left. Okay, 6 months left.
We paid the 2 months already.
All right, and they said, had you given them 60 days notice, that's all you have to give is 60 days?
We did not. Because
I understand that. But you could still pay the 2 months, which is exactly the same as giving 2 months notice. Okay.
Yes.
And that should be, but is that their policy? That's all you need to do, or do you still need to find someone else?
That's what we don't understand. They said that we are liable for the 2 months extra fine.
Danny, whatever the contract says is what you're liable for. Okay? If that's what it... So, if the contract says you must give 60 days notice, if that's all it requires, okay, and you did not give 60 days notice, when did you find that out?
About the mid of November.
And why... Okay. Then why didn't you give...
Actually, it's under my girlfriend's name.
I understand.
And she didn't fully read.
All right, so you left in December. So what you should do, so in December right now, you should give them 2 months notice that you're going to be out at the end of February.
Okay.
Okay, now, that's what you're doing. You're giving 60 days notice. Now, if that's all that's required, you should not have to pay another penny.
Yeah, we told them that we will vacate the unit in December, and we paid the fine for 2 months because we didn't.
Okay, it's not a fine. It's 60 days notice, but it doesn't matter. Go ahead. So you said, here is your notice, here is your notice, and here is your rent for 2 months. What did they do then?
Okay, and they told us we could find someone to take over our lease, and we did. But
Danny,
when somebody's trying to get the place, they refuse them.
Okay, Danny, listen. Okay, we're not hearing something. Okay, so I can't continue without seeing the lease because truly, whatever the lease says is what goes. If all,
Yes, I understand.
If they require 60 days and you paid the 60 days, you shouldn't have to find someone and they shouldn't charge you another dime. Somewhere along the line, there's a misunderstanding, and we'll help you. If the lease calls for 60 days and that's all, then we'll help you. 303-713-TALK. Now, Suzanne, how do you know, and by the way, I would tend to agree about Perry's. People are tired of hearing about it. How do you know that?
Well, because they keep calling me, and some of them are really nice about it, Tom, but there's a few that are nasty.
Now,
they're
bored. No, hold on. I agree. It's a boring topic. However, the one thing that I brought up today was breach of contract, because I do not believe a restaurant reservation is a contract unless there's an agreement to pay a consideration or the consideration itself.
Man, we got to find an attorney to answer that.
Anyway, that's what we're talking about. But I do agree that when boo-hoo, you miss your party reservation, it's over, it's done. And I do agree. That's not what I'm talking about.
How about if it was a wedding?
It's just not applicable right now, so I don't even have to answer that. So 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I'm way over time again.
Man, are people, how, like, when you say calls, do you really have a lot of them?
She's on the air.
Okay, I want to find out. You always risk that.
Yeah, I know. You never know if it'll go.
Sometimes you get this really, really good. Yeah, people want to just. You can't.
Well, yesterday it hit good. I think
Hateful, Tom.
we did back.
Well, there's been men and women. Some men will be like laughing, like, "Hey, it's Glenn. Could you just tell them over this now?" Then there's women that are like, hang up on me. They won't even give me a chance to say, "I'm turning the station." They won't even give me a chance to tell her that I'm going to tell you guys.
Oh,
So, God bless.
Well, I got to tell you, when you bring out emotions like that, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got them fired up.
But you know, I don't know. We hardly.
I think it's kind
Hey, you said it. We risked the white people first world
There's
issues.
some people who feel like, those are rich guy problems, and hey, aren't you guys representing the little man here? And we don't want to hear about
the whole thing is a Christmas.
$1 million dinner,
Man, that guy who got hit over.
Which then I can't even talk about how much I miss my salmon Oscar style now because of all of this.
Yeah.
So there's damages right there.
Hey, I got it right here.
Oh, dear.
$480 if you don't cancel.
I really do want to hear from an attorney, though. Really, the ultimate, the ultimate part is it a contract or not? And really, is there any precedent in it? Someone must have. It had to work. This had to have worked its way through the court system at some point.
But Mark, I think you can find it both ways depending on what was insinuated when the reservation was.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That's the other thing. You can find fucking precedent on everything.
Geez, I don't know. I couldn't find anything on this.
So, how long will it last? Lord knows.
Can you get Gorchev on, or whatever his name is?
Oh,
Gorsuch, let's get him on.
He refused to hear this case.
Tom.
If it happens again,
Oh, Clint.
Oh.
Suzanne. She can't talk to you.
stress test just for you. Let market volatility derail your retirement. Call today for a
They do have a no-show policy.
review your retirement
Who?
portfolio. Call now.
Terry's?
Yeah.
Where does it show that?
Or is this too open?
See, I looked at that too. See, that's why I said if we booked it through Open Table, I think I'd be golden, because there's actually a set of fucking rules. But because it was over the phone with them.
So you've seen this?
Dude, I have done more research on this in 24 hours than you can imagine.
What did you find about doctor's offices? I thought you couldn't technically charge.
You can if you have a policy.
Right.
Do you have a policy? You have the no-show?
I choose not to have one.
Okay.
I mean, I know that you.
More feedback is the one guy's like, it's just so hard when you two are talking over each other.
I'm louder, so I'm lighter.
You choose not to run? That's,
I choose.
It's a Seinfeld.
Oh.
That's you choose not to have a policy.
If you have a policy,
I can just tell them.
But does it have to go both ways?
well, you need to inform them of. That's why I was curious. Let's go back to that Broadmoor real quick. If he called up and just gave his credit card, where did he agree to pay full boat if he doesn't show up? Just by giving him the credit card?
No. Full boat is, there's only one price. There's only one price.
What do you mean?
It was 119.
It's 119 ahead. No matter
No. I get that. I'm saying, but if he didn't show up and didn't eat, where did he agree to pay full price? Did they tell him that on the phone? I still don't know where the agreement would be and what that guy was saying. Unless he went online and did it, and there's actually terms that he's...
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure. Like, if someone schedules a new appointment and then they just don't show up at all, can I say, oh, if they schedule another one,
You'd have a hard time because you're not even a patient. You haven't...
Right, so let's go on the other side. What if someone has an adjustment scheduled, they're an established patient, and they don't show up for it?
Well, then you've got to look at it this. If you had a cancellation, you could charge them for sure.
I'd choose not to because it.
Then they might cancel for good, though.
Right, that's the thing. Is you're building a relationship.
But it really comes down to two things with this. One, the little troll that works there simply, for whatever reason, wouldn't do the easiest fix for whatever reason. I don't even know. And then the second thing is just really the question: is it truly a contract?
So when you say the doctor's office, what happens to like the Seinfeld show?
Yeah.
That he shows up and the doctor's not there.
Well, their cancellation policy doesn't talk about that.
But would it be?
Hi, Tom Martino here.
Why not?
The Raleigh House is a premier addiction treatment center, and I say premier, it's local and it's wonderful, the program. And it's for alcoholism and for substance abuse, illegal and legal drugs, meaning prescribed drugs. Here's the deal. This number I give you for the Raleigh House is so important, especially this time of year. They will answer any and all questions. Think about that. I mean, don't you have a million questions about addiction? If you find something in your kid's room, maybe in your husband's glove compartment, maybe, you know, your aunt, uncle, mother, father, it doesn't matter. It's confidential. It's free. It's totally complimentary. And they'll keep track of it in case you want to call back. And here's the other deal. They're not going to try to slam you into a, come on into the Raleigh House. It's not like that. In fact, they have often recommended other programs that are more apropos. They have great programs, but they want to be the right fit. But call with any concerns about addiction. Anything about treatment, anything about cost, anything about insurance, anything about specific drugs, anything about telltale signs, behavior, whatever you need. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. Here's what I want to say. I want to make this very clear. We have had calls saying enough on the Perrys, and I agree. In fact, I want to make this clear without any interruption. In the very beginning, the only reason I wanted to talk about it, the only reason, is because I thought it wasn't handled properly and it meant so much to Mark. I really mean this. He was very, very pissed off, and I thought, you know what? When I'm pissed off about something, he doesn't tell me to shut up. He listens. So I said, hey, if he's upset about something, talk about it. That was it. Now, but then something else came up, and that was the discussion on what makes a contract. So for those listening, I want you to know this. I had a great time, and I don't think it's such a big deal. I really don't. I don't think it was handled properly. Fine, I said that. But I don't believe it's worth a lawsuit, it's worth a website, or it's worth losing sleep. I don't believe it. However, there have been things that have bothered me, so I can't very well sit on a high horse saying, oh, little man, how dare you get so upset, you know, rise above, because we all have our little issues, right? We all do. So
if I didn't choose, last thing, if I didn't choose the restaurant, I probably wouldn't have been so angry about it.
I know, that's what a lot has to do. But anyway, I'll take this one last comment. Go ahead, Bob, unless it's a comment on contracts. Go ahead, Bob. What's your comment? Bob? Okay. Bob is not there. So we'll just move on. That's good. Okay, Shalita, let's talk about this storage unit. What's going on? Shalita, what's happening with your storage unit? What went on?
So I put my stuff in storage the end of June.
Yes.
Or the end of July, I'm sorry. So I go this weekend to get my stuff out of storage, moved into a condo.
Yeah.
And I get there, and it's literally rat infested.
Rat infested?
Yes.
Like
Mice, rats,
like
whatever.
big rats? You saw them?
I saw a mouse. I don't know, it's a rat to me, but a mouse. There's, my furniture's chewed up.
Oh,
There's rat
God.
feces over everything. There's holes in things.
It's probably,
that
by the
they
way,
chew.
it's probably mice, but Shalita,
Well,
they can do so much damage. But but there's a whole bunch involved here. Like, is this one of those storage places without heat and without...
This is supposed to be controlled environment, Cube Smart, off of 30.
And it's indoors.
Monaco.
It's indoors.
Yes.
Meaning,
indoors, second floor.
Meaning your access is indoors. You go into a building.
Right.
Now
I have to go into a building with the code, get on an elevator, go
what does the
upstairs,
bill? What does your contract say about this?
I'm not really sure. I know when I spoke
We
to
need to
the
look
lady
at
when
it. We need to look at it. What do they say about it?
So when I went to complain about it, because I mean, literally everything I have is in this storage unit.
Right.
The guy immediately called his GM. He came down. He took pictures.
Yeah.
His GM said you need to call the insurance company right away. So I called the insurance company.
Their insurance company.
Right.
You know, their
They
insurance
told me
company
that-
they're not going to take liability for that kind of thing.
Did you say Cube Smart or Keep Smart?
Cube.
Got it.
C-U-B-E.
So
Yeah.
listen, Shalita, just to get right to it, did they offer anything or not? That's just a simple yes or no.
No.
Okay.
No. They
What-
called me this morning. I did a recorded
Yeah.
interview,
Yeah.
and the lady said, I'll talk to you off of the recording. She took the recording off and said that they are not liable for
Yeah.
rodent damage, and there's nothing that they're going to do whatsoever.
Shalita, it all depends. If they are flagrantly negligent and really almost contributed to it, they aren't responsible in most cases. But I don't know what they disclaimed on their contract. I don't know. But certainly they should be concerned because they're going to have other people complaining.
Exactly.
And we should warn other people who have cubes at Cube Smart. Where is Cube Smart located?
There's a lot of
This
them.
particular
Yours.
location is 3800 Monaco Parkway.
Okay, here's what I want to know. 3800 North, it's Monaco Source North. Okay, Monaco Parkway. Now, here's what I want to know. Did they say they were going to take steps to address it?
No.
Clint, you should call for one reason.
I'd like to look at her lease.
Yes, you should call just to see if they're doing something about it for other people. And I warn everyone, Cube Smart 3800 Monaco, do you have photos of your damage?
I do. I mean, when I say my furniture is literally chewed.
Oh, I know
like,
what
it's
they
not
can
like
do.
those
Oh my
that
God, I know
stick
what they
off
can
and-
do.
Man, you would think when you store your
Rabbits do
stuff,
that, and squirrels can do that too. Yes.
when you store your stuff inside, you would have the expectation that it's not going to get eaten by rodents.
Exactly.
Listen,
Exactly.
Listen.
I'm paying over $100 a month.
but Shalita, it
For
depends
what?
on what your contract says, okay? You're going to be very disappointed if it says we're not responsible unless they were really negligent. Even a disclaimer cannot get them out of that. But I'm talking about negligent to the tune where they put out cheese for mice. I mean, honest to God, to be that negligent is going to surprise you. We can have our legal people look at your contract, but we have to see your contract. Without it, we're just really shooting blanks. We have no idea. We have no idea where anything stands. Okay, I want photos. I want the contract. But even before the contract, Clint, I'd like you to call them and see if they're taking steps now that they were warned. For example, now that they know that could be considered negligent if they don't address it, you see. Now that they know, it could be.
Do you think they actually talk about rodents in that contract?
I don't know.
That'd
I don't
be
know.
interesting.
Listen, revitalized health, revitalize yourself. Start this new year right, okay? Please, optimize your hormones. There's no reason you have to be an old man or an old lady. Well, we can't stop it completely, but we can get revitalized with Revitalized Health. Optimize your hormones. You know, we have an emphasis on health on this show. That's why we have Bright Light Chiropractic here, Dr. Mike Hederscheid, and that's why we really recommend optimizing hormones with the Revitalized Health. They do BioT treatment for testosterone and estrogen and thyroid treatment. They have pellet therapy, which secretes into your system naturally like your gland would. Listen, go see them. They'll do complete blood workup. They also have Juvederm, Botox. They have fillers, but they have other things like microneedling, which helps you to stimulate your own collagen. They also do thread lifts that are very inexpensive, and they have great immediate results. Revitalized Health, but here's how you find them. They're out at 470 in Ken Carroll. Here's what you do. You go on the internet and just look for thehormonebros.com. Thehormonebros.com.
I wonder what she values.
Hormone Bros.
I know, but I bet you what they're going to come back saying, how do we know that you didn't bring the mice in?
Well, that's going to be a hard argument for them to make.
Oh no, but like I say, I mean, how now it's proof is in the pudding now, unless there's a whole
I'm more
bunch
curious on what she values her furniture.
No, that's always going to be.
We helped Dan and I helped a lady move, what was that, about a month ago?
Yeah.
You've got to see what she called $80,000 of furniture.
I know, you told me.
$80,000 of furniture. I couldn't believe what she was telling me.
Tom has brought up the best thing: when you move, you should basically sell everything.
In the state sale.
Unless
you
you
see this
have
one that said you're 100% right and I'm 100% dead wrong?
On what? No, I don't know, but I'm used to those.
They said they should have offered you guys.
Well, you said that too.
Well, they did comp drinks and hors d'oeuvres, right?
Yeah. And
all I'm saying is that's all they did. I'm not saying it's enough. I'm saying that's what they did.
Not at the table they didn't, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Did they comp all your drinks at the table or anything? I was going to say, that might have made something.
Yeah, I never knew anybody.
It is so funny because really, if I didn't make the reservation, if I didn't come up with
Take
the
us off
place,
audio for a second.
it wouldn't matter.
And try it now. iHeartRadio. Your music, your stations and podcasts. Anytime, anywhere.
iHeartRadio.
You've probably seen those crazy granite ads, save 70 to 80%. How is that possible? It's not. So you can go to one of those giant warehouses where you're just a number, or you can go to a place that treats you like a person. The Art of Granite. The owner, Mitch, lets you pick out granite from his yard or from anywhere. He does not.
If Mark buys 3 cemetery plots in Nebraska for me, him, and a child, we bury the child there, but then Mark and I decide years later we want to be buried in Colorado, but the lots are in Mark's name. Now he's dead, and I want to sign those lots over to someone else. Do you do it in Nebraska or here?
You have to do it in probate in Nebraska.
Wherever
The guy's been dead 10 years.
died.
Well,
but the Nebraska cemetery is saying it's in your husband's name. Sorry.
Probate is where you die, but you have to do it in the state where the ownership is. In other words, probate is open where he dies, obviously, and then that is transferred. The ownership is transferred.
To answer your question, though, they need to reopen probate if it
Even
wasn't
if
done.
it's been 10 years?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to have her on.
If those
Is Salisbury on the? Well, you can get him on if you want to. Anyway.
Do you want him on?
If you
Would
want
it automatically go to the way?
I don't know how a plot works. Does a plot actually have a deed?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well then if he had a beneficiary's deed on those, then no, they would not need probate. But it sounds like that wasn't the case.
I don't think that. I mean, actually, I have no idea.
I don't know either. I've been on a big, what are those called? Not a coliseum, a mausoleum. I bet they have.
Like Coliseum. I'd like to be very fair.
A coliseum. The Martino Coliseum.
Yeah. Media Cube or Cube whatever has been instructed not to talk to the media about this.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, about a frickin' mouse. Come on.
Whatever happened?
Well, it could be a really big problem. That's why they're not talking.
No, they won't talk in general.
The 2000 Volvo?
Yeah. What?
I used to call that a Volvo. Till someone
A Volvo?
Oh my
Volvo.
God.
I know.
What
It rhymes with Victoria. Oh, wait, what was that?
Volvo. He
He
forgot her name, but it rhymes with the female body part. And they're like, Mulva? Do you remember what the name really was?
Victoria.
see 10,000 miles?
No, it was close.
Oh,
Dolores.
They weren't open until 11.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be until 11.
That's
They
what I
called
meant.
back.
Why did I say Victoria? Victoria wouldn't rhyme with anything.
There's probably something.
I meant
Vagina?
You're on air.
I've calmed down a lot. I used to cuss a lot more. I don't cuss anymore.
I can't believe the way you guys can turn it off and on.
What do you mean?
You can be screaming the break and all of a sudden, boom, no more swear words.
Takes practice, brother.
I know.
And a delay button, as I have learned when I had to dump myself. That sounded weird. Oh, it's a song.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair. Just remember the name. If you have any transmission trouble, not only do they give you a free estimate, but they actually remove the transmission, take it apart, lay it out, and tell you what parts need machining and not. They do it all in-house. So if you need to rebuild that, they do it in-house. They often do it for other shops that you may go to, but here you're going to the source. But listen to this, it's free of charge. I know it sounds too good to be true, but honest to God, free of charge. If you decide to get it fixed, it's still free of charge. If you decide not to get it fixed, free of charge. If you decide to take it somewhere else, free of charge. You're never going to pay for that teardown and that estimate. In the rare cases, now, I don't see why you would do it if you're not going to get it fixed, because they give you the maximum amount of damage, okay? But you're still not obligated. But for some reason, if you want it put back together and you want to run a junk car, they will give you a price up front of what that will cost. And it won't be that much. You still won't be charged for the teardown and the estimate. They'll only charge you for that reassembly. There's no downside to this. No downside. And they're at South Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth, 303-781-9858. 303-781-9858. You can't do better. You just can't do better. Robert, what's going on in your life, Robert? What's happening? And I didn't forget about Shalita. We're still trying to get her contract. Go ahead. What's happening, Robert?
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you to that doctor. I saw him about 4 or 5 months ago, and fortunately my sister came down with some cancer. I haven't been able to see him, but I haven't forgot about him. But he really helped me out big time.
That is so cool. How long did it take?
Oh, I went in there for a couple treatments.
What was your problem?
My lower back. He'll remember me. I'm the pizza driver.
The pizza driver. And your lower back, that's from driving around so much, right?
Yeah. Plus I work at a motel, too, so I got 2 jobs, so I'm constantly going. So
now, you know, Dr. Schultz told me the other day standing up is better than sitting for extended periods. Do you agree, Dr. Hederscheit?
Definitely, yeah. Sitting, and especially a bad position, can be really bad in the back.
So I should probably stand up, and there's no reason why I can't. But let me ask you this. What about those chairs where they're weird chairs? The wobble chair, do you like that one?
What, the wobble chair?
Yeah. You know, that's what, you've never seen it?
Is it where you're on an exercise ball kind of thing? Or?
Well, no. Well, it's a seat. It looks a little bigger than a bicycle seat. So you're cradled, you know. It's not as small as a bicycle seat, but it's on it swivels, so you're forced to use tiny muscles.
The idea to strengthen your core,
Do you like that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now, I haven't forgotten about Shalita. We are going to study that contract with our attorney.
Did we get a copy of it?
Well, we're working on it. Here's the other deal. Steve will take yours, and then Joan will take you. Get your calls in. We're having fun toward the end of the year. Let's clean up the messes in your life, or just get stuff off your chest. 303-713-TALK. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
You know, one of the things that you told me is a big deal, and just like this, is looking down on your phone.
Just for your information, I have
I can
4
see,
of my own.
I can feel that. You do a lot of that. So that's not only just
cancel that room.
And by the way, those will be worked.
Medical insurance is not required. Call Horizons Clinical Research Center now at 303-399-4067 or visit horizoncrc.com for more information and to see if you qualify. Remember, there's no cost to you. 303-399-4067.
Tired of being told what to do by other adults? Want to take next week off? How about next month? Online Trading Academy can help. Hi, this is Dave Logan. Take control of your finances with Online Trading Academy. It's time to make your money work harder for you. And Online Trading Academy can teach you how. Interested? Take a free half-day class this week. Call Online Trading Academy, the only financial educator that I personally endorse, at 303-632-0267 and reserve your class today.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. With Russ Kaminsky mornings, Kaplis and Kafer afternoons, KHOW, Denver.
Now, Mark, and if I'm not back to start.
If you're not back in 4 minutes, I'll be astonished. Hey, Jesse never sent me those best ofs. Can you email him and tell him to send me that Dropbox link?
When you do the best stuff, do you just cut them up?
What's that, sir?
Do you cut them up? Or is it just a whole show?
Well, I'm hoping Jesse cut them up right.
Oh, he'll cut them up, I see. But I mean, it's all from one show. You don't got like half from this show and half from another show.
The what?
You don't do like half from this show, half from another show. Right.
I missed you again.
You don't do half from this show, half from this show, a different day and stuff?
No.
Okay.
I cut up some really old ones.
Right. I remember you said that's a big hassle, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Because you got to listen to it all.
Well, some of the hardest parts, because some of our advertisings and content, one of my favorite shows has an advertiser that, man, we parted ways with years and years ago.
You got to take out those.
We had this carpet guy. His name was Jim Ross. And, man, I tracked him down. We ran him out of business, almost out of town.
I remember that.
Jim Ross. But in that, we also had some commercials for that damn solar company that we parted ways with in there. And there was no way to cut him out. I think he might have been in studio, is why.
I remember a studio guy. So another guy, he says, FYI, as someone who used to work in the storage business, a lot of the time rodents are brought into the store by other customers.
Oh, you were right then. They might make that argument, huh? How would you know? Like bed bugs, for
You don't-
sure.
Absolutely. Bed bugs could be it. I mean, just
How'd
like...
they get into the unit?
This guy that emailed said they bring them in. They were already in the people's, like in their boxes.
They just didn't
or-
know that they had them in there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And how would you know?
You
I think they meant another tenant. Yeah.
Now, one thing, if they're sealed units,
Right.
they couldn't get from one unit to the other, right?
Well, when the door opens, but
But
yeah.
she said they were climate controlled, so are they actually sealed units? I mean, but a mouse can go through a pretty small little entryway.
Yeah.
So, how was the dinner last night?
Oh, it was fun.
Well, where was it at? I didn't even...
Just at the office.
Oh,
It was a
okay.
small group. We had like
Okay.
11 people there, and just I catered a bunch of food in, and we all just hung out.
I hope you do it again.
I will. I'll probably do it again next month.
Because I really was all Novocaine up and stuff, and I just didn't...
How'd that go, anyhow?
Good so far. I mean, I get the cap next week.
Were you on antibiotics? So it didn't flare up?
No. It was just my tooth was cracked, and so he wanted to do preventive maintenance. Or it's only
My senior this week.
Today. Yeah, I put. You ought to see his cancellation tape. I didn't thought it was going to be. I love that.
Oh, the app and being able to just go there. Yeah, I think it's great.
You seriously?
No, the dinner was a lot of fun though. Yeah,
I bet it was.
It was.
I bet it was.
Yeah, I mean,
What'd you have?
I
cater it, or?
We catered in Olive Garden. I mean, it was just
Oh, I love all
chicken parmesan meal.
We did that. All right, 303-713-8255. How come I didn't hear any music coming back?
Our new board op. He's very well trained, though. Jesse trained him up.
He's doing great, Mark.
He actually is doing very well.
Yeah.
Tom has reserved the honor of creating a nickname for you. We do not know what that nickname is. We've had lots of ideas, but Tom is the ultimate to creating the nicknames. He did Bruiser. Who was Kevin? Was Kevin Bruiser?
Kevin was Bruiser, and then Drew was Brutus.
And then
So-
Jesse was only here training.
Yeah, he was just training.
What is
so-
your name, man? And I'm saying this so people on the air know it. Get on the air.
Yeah, so I am Grant.
Grant, and you've actually run on our sister station, Mandy's show.
Correct, yeah.
So you learned on Mandy's show. Now, I'm telling everybody, Tom, that we are not allowed to nickname the new board op. That is your honor and privilege.
Oh, yeah, and also, we're never going to use anything that, like Mandy or anyone else did. It wouldn't be as creative as doing it ourselves.
Don't take her nickname.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Instagram? Nah. But, you know, nothing really pops out at us. You know, you don't have any weird characteristics.
Yet, Tom.
He's normal looking.
Your features are perfectly in line. He has a well-groomed beard. He's a good-looking young man.
You're not super fat.
No. Now, Brutus was... He is Brutus. I mean, if you look at Popeye, I mean, he so much was Brutus. It just came right to us.
Yeah, not Popeye, but Brutus, of course.
Yeah, he was so Brutus. 303-713-TALK. Dr. Mike Hederscheid's with us. And let's go to Steve with this hotel reservation. So anyway, go ahead. So, Steve, what's going on in your life? I'm Tom. What's happening?
Hi, Tom. And first of all, I'd just like to thank you for what you do.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that because I love it. And it's good to know. So what's going on?
Well, this actually happened to my son-in-law about 6 months ago, and I guess it always rubbed me wrong.
Yeah.
But he travels a lot for business, and he had a hotel reservation, and due to a delayed flight, he didn't walk into the lobby till about 1 in the morning. And no, he didn't call them.
What, was it a guaranteed? There are things called guaranteed reservations where you lock it in with a credit card.
He did. They did have his credit card.
I know, but I asked, was it a guaranteed reservation? Did he pay for the room?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That I can't tell you.
Well, that's important because when we make a hotel reservation and we're going to be past 3 in the afternoon or 4, you do what's called a guaranteed, where they literally will leave it open till the next day. I mean, and you pay for it.
Or they might consider you a no-show at, 6, 8 o'clock at night.
But otherwise, it's their policy as to when they consider you a no-show. So what happened when he got there?
Well, of course, they said, we booked your room. We are completely full now. Which he said, okay. So he just stayed in the lobby because he had a business meeting at 6 in the morning. So he just...
He literally, wait, what time did he get in?
About 1 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
It was a delayed flight. Anyway, but they charged his card, the full room amount.
Well, that's full of crap. They can't have it both ways.
It could be in that policy, though. Oh, because they rented the room out.
Yeah, if they rented the room, they can't. I mean, that's bull crap.
Because they don't even have a loss at that point.
Unless they rented it at a last-minute rate, and then they charged him for the difference. Did they charge him the full tilt?
Yes, they did.
That's bull crap.
Well, I thought so, too.
What hotel was it?
It was La Quinta.
When did it happen?
6 months ago, and he was not in Colorado.
You know what La Quinta means?
No.
Next to Denny's.
Does it? I didn't know that. Anyway, I believe it's La Quinta, isn't it? Or is it La Quint? I don't know. Anyway, in any case, here's the deal. It might be too late to do something with your credit card. But that certainly isn't right. I mean, if they're going to charge him, I could see them sending him away, but they can't charge him. What was the... Wait, when he called and said... I mean, why? I often wonder, do people just say, hey, listen, okay, I didn't show up. You rented it out again. So why am I being charged for the full room amount? Did he ask? Did he ask?
Yeah, just like that.
I can't hear you. But listen, man, here's the bottom line. I would still contest it on the credit card, and I'd call it fraud. I would simply call it fraud. That's it. Okay. Fraud. I wouldn't call it a billing error. I'd say fraud. Here's what I would say. I wouldn't get into detail. When I showed up, they had already rented it out. That's it. That's it. I never stayed. That's it. You don't have to give a lot of detail to these people. The more detail you give sometimes, the deeper the hole you dig. We tried to call the storage place, CubeSmart. They won't talk to the media. Clint, what did they say?
Yeah, they were under instructions not to talk to us.
Now, we do have a contract for Shalita. And Shalita, Mark, would you look this over? And I want to know what it says about damages.
And I want to see if it talks about rodents.
Yeah, or damages in general.
Here's the argument.
Limitations of liabilities.
Dan actually said this. He said, how about if she brought the mice in, and we had someone email us through referrallist.com saying that exact same thing. I was in the storage business, and maybe she brought the mice in. I bet that happens a lot.
And bed bugs and all that. Okay, hold on one thing. There's this one thing it says about limitations of liability and warranties. The owner party's maximum aggregate liability with respect to the cube contents, if any, is $5,000. Wow. I mean, I'm surprised they even put that on there. And it says, I waive any right to make a claim against the owner parties with respect to the cube contents above $5,000 in the aggregate. Owner does not make and disclaims, and I waive all warranties of any kind with respect to the store, the cube, owner's services, and any items sold at the store. So I don't even know what that means, the store, but
they probably sell boxes and stuff.
In any case, here's what's really, really important. That's all they really say. I can't see anywhere else. But I think I know why they said that.
Fire.
No, as far as for their insurance company. But they said that because of other things. Like, for example, if you say you were, because if they disclaim any responsibility and there's flagrant violation and they're negligent, they can say, yeah, we were. But you have already agreed to the maximum value
of $5K.
So that's almost smart the way they did that. The other one is the other waiver. I waive and release owner parties from any claims that may have, if the cube contents, listen to this, this is really important, lost, stolen, or damaged for any reason, including but not limited to fire, water, elements, acts of God, theft, burglary, vandalism, mysterious disappearance, mold, mildew, rodents, and insects.
There's that rodents.
I waive any right of subrogation that my insurance company may have, blah, blah, blah. This thing has everything covered, and you agreed to it. Furthermore, even if for some reason you got past it, they were very smart in putting down $5,000 because that can't even be called like omission. That can't be called like anything egregious or ambiguous. It's not. Now, Shalita, did you ever read that before where they said, hey, we're not responsible for any of this damage, and even if you find us responsible for something, you're limited to $5,000?
So, no, I don't remember that. I remember the lady who I spoke with mentioning stuff like that. That was the reason why they
I want to ask you something. Let's just say, I don't think you're going to get past
No, I did not bring rats and rodents in with me. I've never had
that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they already said we're not responsible for it. Now, let's just say that you said, okay, they're not responsible, but they were so negligent, I still think I could get past that waiver. Then they're limiting you to $5,000. So I want to ask you something. Do you feel your stuff is worth more than $5,000?
I wouldn't say that it was worth more than $5,000.
Well, you're being very reasonable. So what I would do if I were you, this is what I would do.
When the guy came to take the pictures, he immediately said, oh, you should at least get $2,000.
Okay.
And I was upset about that because...
Well, that's not a contract, Shalita. That's an idiot talking. I would fire the guy if I were... people should not talk. They're just idiots. But here's the deal, Shalita. If I were you, if this was me, I would say, even though I disclaimed this damage, they were very, very negligent, and I don't know why I would say that, but I would sue them in small claims court for the $5,000. You can't get more than the 5, but I would go for the 5. They're going to use this disclaimer and probably win, but I don't know.
Do you have any, by any luck, do you have any renter's policies or homeowners?
No.
Do I have what?
Did you have a renter's policy in your previous place or an owner's policy?
I think I had a renter's policy.
Is it still in effect or did it expire?
No, I moved. from that unit.
I understand that, but how long was it for?
Oh, I don't know. I would have to look into that.
It might be still in
honestly don't know.
effect. It might be still in effect. That's what you have to do. You have to find some kind of coverage. If you want to do the small claims court, what is it, $50 she has to risk?
55.
Look, I just think
that seems like an uphill battle, though.
There is a reason people have contracts. It just is. And you know, so many people sign these and then say, uh-oh, you know, uh-oh. And the uh-oh doesn't work.
Do you think if she, let's say she had a 1-year renter's agreement, moved out 3 months early, does it cover stuff if you move out? I never thought of that before.
Yes, it could. In some cases, it's for contents, and if you're still renting, and she could make the argument.
No, I'm saying she moved out early, but yet the agreement for the insurance was 1 year. She moves out 3 months early.
No,
I'm just making up a scenario.
You have a policy on your contents, so it depends on your content coverage. It might have off-premises coverage. It might have if you move coverage. I mean, trust me, they spell it out because insurance policies very seldom leave any scenario out. One clear choice, garage doors. You won't find a better company. You know, when it gets cold, sometimes people have to adjust their doors. They shouldn't have to if it's done right. If they're done on a rail system that's adjusted properly, it'll adjust for cold and warm. Some people don't have that. You got to call One Clear Choice Garage Doors to get your doors adjusted or to get them lubricated. You know, they do free inspections for Martino listeners. If you truly want them to be your garage door company, they'll come out and inspect. But remember, they're not out just to do inspections for you buying a house or something like that. This is if you have a home and you're really concerned about the garage door, give them a call. And they have new openers starting at just $333. 303-565-6409. You won't find a better company. You won't. OneClearChoiceDoors.com.
This report is sponsored by Napa Auto Parts. Now, Napa.
Someone just put a good review up on him. Like yesterday.
She doesn't have, she had renters.
Did I know, but I think I do not recall.
Really?
Yeah,
There's going to be a big deductible though.
I know, but I think her homeowners wouldn't have covered the roads either.
Who? Would not have.
Would not have covered roads. I think it would have excluded them too.
What would have?
Homeowner.
Good point. Good point.
Good point.
You know, because it's not a event. Right?
In your house, I think if it happened right in her house, it wouldn't cover it.
Would not.
That's
what
Wikipedia is saying. I agree with that.
Wikipedia says it?
No, but
it's got a heck of a shot at being almost right.
It's not an event. But if you would have had like a horse run through the house, they might cover that.
Did your wife like your rodent?
Oh, God, yes.
Say
I love
horses.
it, Tom. Thank you. She was, on the way home, she
You're
started
not thinking.
crying, and I didn't know what she was crying about. She said, oh, my God, Stephanie and Daphne were so kind to her and everything. Anyway, yeah, you guys really set her off.
That's good. She's a nice
It was
one.
good.
I'll tell you though, Judy, boy, she can stand up for herself. She's strong.
I wanted to bring up her losing her purse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, where did she lose her purse at? I don't remember that.
She thought her purse got
Oh, her keys. It was her keys.
Remember they went to the Arlen camera across the street.
Right. That's another. See, what
We caught the thief. It was her.
That would have been good to have a roast on every person there. That would have been fun if you had like a room and stuff, you know.
If we were all put together in one area, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, we could have a shot in the sheets award.
Oh.
The shot in the sheets. Oh, when I first heard that, I was laughing so hard.
Me too.
So did what's his name?
Poor Danny ran up to his dad when he joined the Marines. He said, Dad, I joined the Marines. What'd your dad say?
I did a shot.
Stupid fucker.
You said what?
You stupid fucker.
You didn't get along well with your dad?
No, got along good with him. Wow.
He was a little outspoken.
Is your dad alive?
How old were you died?
How old are you?
He was 90. He would have been 90 now. He died 2.5 years ago.
27 and a half.
Well, my dad's 91, so
You cheated.
easy to remember.
Yeah, that shot in the sheet, so that's what he told us. What did your brother do when you said that? Or what happened?
I don't think he knew what it was.
No, I mean, what did your brother do for him to say that?
He didn't do very much. Break something.
Break
something on the farm, or
his dad would also, I love this, he'd keep pliers on his hip in one of those tool belts.
no, a little pocket.
And he'd pull them out, boy, and he'd whip them at you.
Yes, he did.
You learn to respect the pliers.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Wink and wink. Our bankruptcy attorneys. Do not get into credit card trouble during the holidays and expect it to all go away in January when you file bankruptcy. Do you know they can go back 90 days and say, you know what? That doesn't work with us. So recent charges can be considered fraudulent. You don't plan a bankruptcy like that. They can give you advice, really. Let's say you do want to file for bankruptcy in the future. Call them now. They'll tell you. And you know, you may not have to. Winkandwink.com. It's very important that first of all, most bankruptcies are not fraudulent, okay? People just need help. They do need help. They don't want a life sentence because they got into debt. And of course, we hope you never need to do it. But here's the point about it, is that sometimes people just, for some reason or another, they're in this situation, okay? It could be unemployment, a death in the family. You don't deserve a life sentence. I keep saying that. And the reason bankruptcy laws were put into effect is to keep people from servitude, like you're working all week and you're literally paying one creditor. So you can't afford cars, you can't afford to eat, you can't afford a lot of things. And therefore, the economy suffers, literally suffers, if you then divert your income and start paying for regular stuff. It actually circulates your money more. I know that's hard for a lot of people to grasp, and they're under the mistaken impression that somehow bankruptcy raises taxes, which it doesn't. However, it's still not a great thing. It's not. But what you need to do is manage debt before it gets to that point. So if you're listening right now, before you get to a bankruptcy problem, don't keep charging. Try to manage your payments. Try to do it. And if you're underwater and you can't afford, then you got to stop spending. There's no magic here. So many people use credit as an extra income. It's not. You know, it's like their roommate. Oh, I'll put it on credit. And then mentally they think, that'll just raise my payment $5 a month. But you can't think like that, because it could be putting you into servitude for another 20 years. Winkandwink.com, 303-410-1720. All right, so Bill, I believe, did we take Bill already? No, you wanted to talk about Integra, Bill?
Yes.
I did not. I don't think we took your call. What's going on, Bill?
I just wanted to thank Jared, give huge shout-outs to him for his service and what he does.
Now, did they help you choose from a myriad of health insurance policies?
Well, yes, he did all the footwork.
That's what I love. That's what I love. And it really does work, doesn't it?
Yeah, and even though I have to handle the breakup with Kaiser, he did negotiate everything else.
Okay. And what are you paying now? Just out of curiosity, are you paying more or less than Kaiser?
Well, it's about the same, but it's a way better program, and we have babies, so it's a new deal.
Did he put him in, I didn't hear this. Did he put him in Bright Light?
No, Fridays.
Oh. That's what it's called, Fridays?
Something like that.
Oh, cool.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's not Kaiser.
I've never heard of that. Thank God it's Fridays, huh? Okay. What did you want me to do, Suzanne? Okay. Joan, you are talking about cemetery plots, right?
Yes, thank you for taking my call.
What's going on, Joan?
I own a cemetery lot, and it's in another state. It was in my husband's name. He is now deceased, and I cannot transfer that to someone else without a quitclaim deed.
Now, they're paid for, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, now he died. Hold on. He died, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
Okay. I'm going to talk to you without others listening, okay?
Okay.
And then I'm going to get some legal advice from David Salisbury. But without anyone listening, this is what some people have done in the past. If you have something owned by your husband and he died and it's a cemetery plot and it's never been transferred to you before he died, and you don't want to go through a big hassle, here's what some people have done, and I would never advise it, but some people have done it. Since they know it was their husband and it was his cemetery plot and that no one in the world would give a damn, they would quit claim it to themselves and forge their husband's name and file it because they figure, who's going to complain? My husband? Who's going to complain? My daughter? Who's going to complain? The plot next to him? I mean, in other words, now, Joan, as I said, I know people literally who have done quitclaim deeds after someone died and filed it. Now, I imagine it could be considered fraud, but I would like to know what prosecutor would prosecute a widow for transferring her husband's property to her name with absolutely any consequence whatsoever to anyone, anywhere, at any time. I want to know that. But again, it is technically forging. So, let's see how you would do it the right way, which would be opening probate, blah, 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 blah. David Salisbury is an attorney at law who, by the way, does trusts and probate law and wills and everything. So, David, Joan's husband died, what was it, 10 years ago, Joan?
Right, and I want to transfer this to my daughter now.
You want to transfer his cemetery plot, the one he has...
I thought it was ours, but I find out now it was just in his name.
One plot, is that it?
Well, no, there's 3.
You want to transfer all 3 owned by your husband to your daughter, and your husband has been deceased 10 years.
Right, and he's not buried there.
David, how would she do that?
Well, I hate to say it, but as you put it, blah, 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 you'd have to open a probate. Now, honestly, I can say I assume that a plot is a real property interest so that it can be transferred like any other real property.
Yes. Right.
And the only way to do that legally, unfortunately, would be to open a probate. Doesn't matter whether it was 10 years ago or 1 year ago. It's going to be the only way you can do it. And I hate to tell you that.
Now, opening a probate...
Said I need a quick claim deed is all I need.
Hold on. He's right, okay? Hold on. He's right. A quitclaim deed is all you need to transfer ownership. But now I'm going to ask you a question. I'm playing devil's advocate here. Who's going to sign? Your husband needs to sign a quitclaim deed. So how are you going to get him to sign it?
And I don't know how to sign it.
Joan, you don't have to sign it. Your husband has to sign it.
Okay.
So the moron that told you you needed a quitclaim deed, how did this moron expect your husband to sign it?
I think they thought that was my problem.
Yeah, that's right. And it is. Therefore, that's what the estate is. The estate is your husband. And David would open an estate, a probate. Then the court would step in for your husband and transfer it.
Oh, dear.
And David, go ahead.
I mean, what you've said is correct. But opening the probate, you're right. Who sits at the table when you want to transfer property? If you're dead. So when you open up the probate, she would be named the personal representative, and then once it's open, she can sign what's called a personal representative's deed to transfer.
Right. And then you
can't use a quitclaim.
Right. Well, okay, that's fine. It wouldn't be a quitclaim. But here's the deal, Joan. Some people have discovered many years later a quitclaim deed that was in the drawer next to the hope chest, and you ever hear that word? That word hope chest? And nobody uses that.
You're dating yourself.
So they pull it out and they say, "Oh my goodness, my husband signed this many years ago. I just have to file it." And I just want to say, David is not recommending this, but Joan, it's been done a lot. And who is going to protest? Who's going to say, "I protest these plots going to this woman"?
Joan, do you understand what he's saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay, don't imply me telling you to do something wrong, because I'm not. I'm telling you not to do that. Do not get a quitclaim deed. Do not sign it as if you're your husband, and do not pretend you just found it, and do not file it, thereby making it legally transferred otherwise, if it was done like that, and not opening probate and not spending money. Don't do it. Okay. So listen, David, I know that you're rolling your eyes right now. I know you are, because you're an attorney. And you're an officer of the court, and you're a good guy, and you actually do things the right way. Can you do beneficiaries deeds for those kinds of properties?
The answer is yeah, you could.
So if he was alive at the time, there could have been a beneficiaries deed. So can anything with a title be titled with a beneficiary title?
The basic answer is yes, it can. But I would tell you, Tom, ask the lady to give me a call.
Okay.
And I'll see what I can do.
Okay.
To maybe make this not as
shady,
as much of a burden on her than maybe it normally would.
That's what I was going to ask you.
I like that word.
If you're opening a probate just for this, it wouldn't be. Would it be like it wouldn't be that cumbersome, would it?
If you're asking me, unfortunately, it's the same amount of work, whether it's a gigantic estate or it's, as far as opening the probate, the procedure is the same.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I knew some guy one time that made a phony claim on a house, saying it's my house. And it was in the estate of this man, and this other man claimed he owned it, because he was living there with the man. And guess what? His family luckily found a quitclaim deed that man had signed years ago. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I don't encourage people doing things wrong, but I also think sometimes, God almighty, there's just so much red tape that doesn't have to be. And they should make laws conducive to that, or in light of that, and make things easier on people. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Again, I don't encourage it. I do encourage you to call Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. If I ask everybody, and I hate to say this because I know that, George Donaldson, who owns Fix It 24/7, and Jay Bretz, who owns Excel Roofing, and Mitch Fleury, who owns Art of Granite, and Dr. Mike Hederscheit with, with Bright Light Chiropractic, and all of my friends. But I have to say that Frank Duran, if we had to say who we love the most as a sponsor, as a person, we'd probably have to say, we'd say Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He runs his business like he does his friendships. You will think you're the only person in his life. If you're buying or selling real estate, it's that kind of relationship. You can trust him. Every word he says, every minute of the day. 303-920-1622. Plus, he's a fierce negotiator. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
$269,000.
Oh, I thought he said 169.
I called the shop. The shop won't work on it anymore. They're trying to tell the guy, quit throwing money at this car. It's not worth fixing.
It was not worth fixing.
And they're not charging a penny of labor for doing head gasket.
Oh, I thought you said he paid $2,500.
The bill's $2,500.
Oh,
They're just going to charge it for the machine shop stuff. They don't want to put any more work in it, so they said he just keeps throwing good money after bad.
I agree. $269,000. Holy cow!
They said the whole car shot. It says direct to the front end. There's no headlights in it.
Oh, jeez. What is it?
What's the deal?
This car's got 269,000 miles on it.
And it's just beat like
Volvo.
It's just beat like an old dog. It's just the guy at the shop was being really nice. He says, I don't want to go see the guy keep spending money on it.
He's beat like an old dog. That's not. PETA's going to be coming after you.
Yeah.
What does this mean to you guys? Ready? Here's a coupon for $60 off. Coupon not applicable towards startups. What does that mean?
What does that mean? What is it for?
It's an HVAC company. I don't want to say who.
Oh, for startups.
And they say
for the beginning of the year to go and start up your firm.
This is okay. Exactly. That's what I would have thought. You would not think
Right,
you couldn't apply it towards, for example, a service call.
Right.
Would you take that as you could $60 off your next service?
Right.
Okay.
Except the startup.
Except for starter. That's all it says.
Why? What would you think?
I'm on with you. Brothers owes this guy this coupon.
Why? What did they say?
They said, well, okay, this is even weirder. Why they haven't paid him is even more strange. I mean, I'll get them to pay him. I'm not worried about that. But she actually put, I noticed on our letter to him, we don't have the disclosure for the show-up fee spelled out as well as we do on the coupon. We have mass quantities of these letters produced, and we're going to change them when they make their next run. So they're basically saying it was a typo.
But what is the issue? He was trying to apply a coupon.
He spent $1,000 with them. He gives them a coupon. He just moved into the neighborhood.
Is for what?
The coupon's for $60 off. They won't take his $60 off because they said it's not applied towards what you had done, whatever that was.
Did he have a startup done?
No, he didn't have a startup done. You don't spend $1,000 on a startup.
Right. Well, what did he spend $1,000 on?
I didn't even ask him.
Oh, okay.
And why would you ever
Because
not
she
give
had-
somebody that?
Well, I have a feeling what happened is he starts, it was one of these deals, he's got someone in Kansas, he found out whatever he did cost a lot less through some company in Kansas. So he went out and wrote bad reviews about him left and right. And now he's sticking on this coupon part that they won't
But
take.
did he do the coupon during that time, or was it
No,
several days afterwards?
they told him they wouldn't take it.
I didn't get that right away. P-U-P.
What are you looking at?
Oh, my words. I am on the top 5 in the country, and I keep switching places with this one person for this word, crossy word.
For Quora or for what?
No, for this app.
Oh.
This is what is that? That's that. What is it
No
called?
Seinfeld
Crossy
trivia.
word.
Or
What
word
was
crossy.
friends? Something friends?
No, not words with
it's
friends.
like that.
They're
Words with
crossy
friends?
words. It's just crossy.
Oh, okay.
And
Can you buy stuff like you can on a PlayStation for it?
Can you get a
Can you buy
better?
a hat?
you know, I got sucker to buy customers.
What'd you buy? I want to know.
Points, so I could unlock some new advertise.
I wonder where his kid gets it.
These apps are great businesses, aren't they?
Oh, it's like
I love the free games like Fortnite. What a free game.
Fortnite kind of cool.
I think Fortnite's cost most parents more than any other game ever made.
Ross is saying they make over $1 million a day.
Oh,
Net.
that's incredible money.
Oh my God.
And growing, I'm sure, and.
Oh man, yes, of course. Ah. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, I love recommending good people. I love it. That's what I do. Joan Sullivan is one of them. She's with ApprovalReverse.com. That's a reverse mortgage company. Here's the good part. The good part is if a reverse mortgage is apropos, she'll tell you, and if not, she'll tell you. Because it's a great tool for some, 62 or older. Reverse mortgage means you take out a loan, whether it's a lump sum, monthly payments, or a line of credit, and you never pay it back unless you want to, like you sell your home, you go to Miami, you go to a nursing home, or you're deceased. You will never owe more than the home's value ever, no matter how long you stay there. ApprovalReverse.com to find out if you're a candidate. Just call them. They'll be honest with you. And if it's good for you, it may not be good for you. Let me take people who have been waiting a long time here, okay, please? Let's talk to Bert. Bert, what's happening with you, Bert?
Hey.
Hey.
Well, I set up an account about a year and a half ago with Yellow Pages to advertise online. In hindsight, that was a bad idea. I mean, their advertising is not.
Oh my God, it's not even worth it. I mean, do you know we got a Yellow Pages the other day, and Stephanie went right from the curb to the recycling bin. I mean, it's like, why do we have one? Yeah.
Right. No. But they've tried to move their presence to more of an online thing.
I know. It's
and it wasn't working for me, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a bad decision.
But you did sign a contract.
But I signed a contract for a year, and in August that contract was up, so it's a little less than a year and a half.
Now, did they have an auto renewal?
They tried to auto-renew it. Actually, I called them before the term was up and said, look, I want to make sure that when my account comes due, you're going to cancel.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So,
well, you know, you don't hold on. You don't call up and make sure. You do it. You just do it.
Right. And well, the problem is, and I learned this, and this is an important lesson. Never make this mistake. I let them set up the auto payment on their side to withdraw from
which means, and I've said this before, if you do that, then they must be the ones to terminate it. Even your own bank will not terminate it.
Correct.
And they will not. But there is a way to do it. You close your account with the bank, and you move banks. You can't move accounts. You got to move the entire. You have to close it and get out of the bank.
But hold on a second, because the important part here is I got my credit card bill yesterday, and what I actually did is a couple of months ago they did not quit withdrawing money every month, so I got on the horn with them again and tried to straighten it out, and they really won't do. I suspect that they're sort of a little bit criminal.
Well, they're terrible because they're dying. They're dying.
Right. So what I did is I called my credit card company. I figured I'll call them and see if they can block.
Wait. Hold on. So you're saying it's not coming out of your bank account. It's coming out of your credit card.
Well,
hold on. Then let me explain this to you. Even if you can't close that credit card and get a new one because they'll still come through. Credit card companies will not do it. You have to go to another credit card company altogether and open a new card and close that one.
Okay. Yeah, because but I just want to warn.
But I would sue Yellow Pages. I would sue Yellow Pages and Small Claims Court for every dime. Did they have proof? Did they say you renewed?
They record all of their phone conversations.
Then they should have one where you
of me going through the motions of, or jumping through all their hoops.
Wait a minute.
Closing this account.
You're telling me that they have proof you closed the account but are still charging you?
Correct. They should. I mean, if they recorded those calls, and I could probably retrieve some old emails that I've sent to them telling them,
why don't you
stop this?
Are they still taking money?
They're still taking money.
All right.
This is the part that I really want to get in.
First, I want to ask you, and then you can get it in. How much are they taking?
They're taking $69 a month.
All right, Bert, before you do anything, and I'll answer and let you say anything you want, you need to shut down that credit account, shut it down, and then you can open another one with the same people. You can't. You have to literally, like if it's Capital One, you have to go somewhere else. You can't, because if you open a new credit card, they will still allow people who claim they have a contract with you on the new card. That is the entire, this is something that I've said before. The whole reason sometimes people, like, let's say somebody goes to a health club and uses your credit card fraudulently. So you shut down that credit card. You say it was lost or stolen or hacked. They shut it down. They send you a new one. If that health club calls your credit card company and says, oh, this card is no longer working, can we have the new one? They'll give them the new one. So it is unbelievable, but people think when they get a new credit card, they're shutting down fraud. They are not. The only way to shut down fraud is to get a new credit card with a new issuer. So having said that, continue. What did you say? The one thing I want to get across is what?
Okay, the reason that I'm willing to call them criminal now, up until this point is like, okay, whatever, la-di-da, it's $69 a month, it's no big deal, whatever. But what they actually did, because I called the credit card to block that withdrawal each month for that account.
Yeah.
And the credit card company was very good about, for 2 months I did not get a bill.
Yeah.
But now what they actually did is they changed the name of the account on their end. And so now the block is no longer working. Now I can put on another block, but I'm going to follow your suggestion.
I can't stand them.
Close the card.
And I would, and Mark will show you off the air, and not legal advice, he'll show you the logistics. He has been successful in suing companies that have registered agents, and he sues them, and he wins.
I'm a little step above him. I just found, I know exactly who to serve on this one now.
You got to sue him.
That's owned by Dex Media. I didn't know that. It's not the old Dex we would think of, but that's who owns it.
No, it is the old Dex.
It's YP.com.
It is the old Dex.
Yeah, but it's also a foreign entity now. It's a foreign
You know what?
corporation.
You ought to be a thorn in their side. How much money have they taken since you canceled?
Not a whole lot because I
How much?
immediately, you know, probably about $200.
I would get it back, and just to show them they can't get away with it.
Yeah, email me at live@troubleshooter.com.
Okay, it's help at troubleshooter.com. Okay, so help at you email us. We'll get you through the process. But for now, get that damn thing shut down for good. Okay, Dr. Mike Hederscheit. Somebody wants to know, and about tinnitus. Have you ever treated tinnitus with chiropractic?
I wouldn't say try to purposely treat tinnitus, but I've had somebody within the past week that said that it improved, that they started care about a few weeks ago, and it improved just from getting care. Yeah.
Good. That's good to know. You know, I imagine if it's a nerve problem and you improve the nerves, it can help. I mean, you know, he's not claiming to cure it, but the person did say they got some help. What's going on with Karen? She needs a closet door adjusted, I think. Karen?
Yes.
What is going on?
I have bifolding doors. I bought a property, and I have bifold doors, and none of them are perfectly operational.
They are terrible. Are they the louvered closet doors?
They aren't. They're actually solid, and they're nice.
But they kind of hang, and
yeah. I need to adjust.
Handyman hub. I adjust them all the time at home. I know how to do it. Now, Karen, is this your home?
Yes.
Okay, and you don't know anyone who knows how to do it?
No.
Okay. All right, that's okay. I was just wondering if you, let's see.
You know, it's one of those things where time, you know,
yeah.
If I could sit down and figure it out, I could get them all done at some point.
Have you ever been on Tinder? I'm just kidding. You know, you make a date for someone to fix your doors. What?
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's a dating site. What did you think I was saying?
But it's evident what you were saying.
I was saying
she would trade adjustments for adjustments.
I did not. I did not insinuate that at all. What I said was start dating a guy who's a handyman. That's all I said. But hold on, Garen. Seriously. He was right in Handyman Hub. We have some good handymen that can do that very, very easily. I'm afraid
it's such a small job.
Yeah, but
it's going to be a handyman.
But it could be expensive.
Maybe even Bobby.
Like, Bobby would be great. Do you have, like, seriously, a list of things you might need? Because that's going to be the most efficient. If you could get a list, because here's what you do. If you can get them for a few jobs and get them all done, it's way cheaper than if they come all the way there for one thing. But if you had like, hey, adjust this, do this, do this, do this, then you tell them on the phone, you get a better price. It's just better that way. What part of town are you in?
Lakewood.
Lakewood. It shouldn't be that difficult. So hold on. Get her number and email and have Mark give her Bobby. And if not, then we'll find someone. We'll find someone. 303-713-TALK. Joe has a comment on Yellow Pages. Joe.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've done this in the past.
Are you? Wait, whoa. You can hardly be heard. Are you on Bluetooth?
No.
Okay, now I can hear you. Now I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, previously I've had a similar experience, and
yes.
I had good luck disputing the charge and sending in my cancellation of agreement. So, you know...
He did it on the phone.
He did it on the phone.
Well, he did mention he had a couple of emails that he could dig up. If he did something like that, maybe he can just dispute the charge.
All right, his phone is unreadable, but Joe, I get what you're saying, and here's the deal, okay? And this is really important. Don't ever allow a creditor to come into your account for auto payments. Ever. Now, if you initiate the auto payment on your side, then you can cancel it on your side. Meaning you go to your account and initiate it. Never let someone else initiate it because they're the ones that have to shut it down. Even if you tell your bank you no longer want it.
This report is sponsored by Peloton.
For the most part, the highway drive is in good shape, although there's brand new trouble spot westbound I-70 just past Pecos. Looks like a stall or crash there blocking right shoulder, right lane of the highway.
You got allergies?
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told you I have tinnitus bad and stuff.
Is that next thing we need to work on?
Well, yeah. I mean,
what would you do for that?
He hits the head. He does the head.
That's hit you in the side of the head.
Oh,
It's nothing
Here's the thing, it's
specific.
different for everyone.
Yes, you're right. That's exactly
And that's the
right.
thing. If it's permanent, like damage to the nerve, I'm not going to fix anything like that. Yeah, I know, right?
How dare you? Get on YouTube. They show all sorts of ants walking in your ear, slices of tomato.
Mine is
Seriously.
nerve damage.
Yeah.
From what?
Tractors.
Ah, the tractor stories.
Tractor stories.
Ah.
16 years old. 15, 16 years old ever since then.
He got VD from a tractor.
Tractor feet.
That's right. No, it was the thumbs.
The those. Oh, shit. That was yours.
Oh, yeah, don't throw that one away.
Those tractors load.
Damn. It's easier to
I
carry.
almost made a
Do
bad.
they all have spinners?
Have what?
Oh,
Wheel.
the older tractors did.
Yeah.
Boy, you could rip an arm off like that.
Boy, you kept
For
the wheel.
what?
Non-power steering tractor, and it went in the furrow, and you got your hand on that thing, it would just
Yeah,
take you.
spinner arm.
Or if you put it right in there.
Oh, because the wheel would grab?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
grab and whip that spinner around.
You know, all I ever hear is you complaining. When I was on the farm, I had no issues. I would feed the pigs, I'd mow the lawn.
The worst job on a farm is shoveling grain out of a bin.
How about shoveling shit?
Did you grow up? Did you grow up on one?
Did you grow up on a farm?
Down by a creek.
Me? Oh yeah, I lived. Yeah.
He was a farmer, man, like
Yeah.
literally. That's why he's a little naive on some
From
stuff.
day one.
Remember the old John Deere A? The
Yeah.
tricycle tractor?
Well,
An A.
a lot of those they redid their things.
Yeah, the
and
one made of white fronts, yeah.
Yeah.
Do they even make tricycles anymore like that?
I don't know. My grandfather had that because they grew tobacco. The way that they
Oh, they
lay out.
needed to run down the furrow.
Yeah, God, I drove that thing. I was about 15 years old through a ditch and up the other side, and it came up
Oh.
and almost drove
You
it
know,
backwards.
I tell you,
Did it have that big bar in case?
Oh God, no. Had nothing.
Safety features weren't
Human
human.
safety
oh
feature.
man, we had a neighbor girl shoveling up on the truck.
On the back 40.
Got her hair caught in the auger.
No.
Ripped a big chunk out of her skull.
Yeah, but it didn't
Hi,
suck
Tom
right
Martino
there.
here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What's happening in your life? And can we help you? We want to help you any way we can. And somebody who said they didn't get the Wink and Winks number, it's 303-410-1720. Okay. Terry, what's going on with you, Terry? Welcome. You're on the air. What can we do for you? Terry?
How you doing?
What's going on? Hey, we have lines open at 303-713-TALK. What's going on?
Hey, I bought a car for my wife. It's a 2017.
Yeah. When did you buy it?
When?
Yeah.
It was new when I bought it. It had
Okay.
60 miles on it.
That's what I want to know. Where'd you buy it?
I-25 Kia up north.
So what's going on with it? What's the problem?
Well, it stalled out on us twice. The second time there was a huge noise from the engine, and it shook the entire dash. So I was like, "What the heck was that?"
Now wait a minute. When you say stall, were you like driving and it just stops?
Yeah. Well, the first time I was sitting at a light, and I went to go, and it acted like it had bad gas or something.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't go. It
Gotcha.
wouldn't go. So it would only go like 15 miles an hour. And I was holding up traffic. So we pulled into a restaurant. I ate lunch, shut the vehicle off, and finished lunch, got back in, and it ran fine. So that's...
Okay. So what do they say? I mean, it's under warranty. What do they say about it?
They can't duplicate the problem. And now it's my
But
wife's
you have a
car,
computer, man. That's
Yeah,
why we have
yeah.
computers now.
They said it won't do that unless it's operating. It won't duplicate
No,
it.
but
So-
I thought it stores codes. No, guys, of course it does. It stores codes, man. I don't understand.
Well, they're not saying they don't know what it was. They're saying they can't duplicate it, right?
Well, they say they don't know what it is.
No, I'm saying there probably is a code they're pulling, but they still don't know what to fix on it.
Are they pulling a code or not?
Yeah, they gave me a data recorder. I left it with them on the second time I did it when the loud bang came from the engine.
A loud bang, like a backfire?
Yeah, it was almost like the RPMs went up to 6,000. At first, there was a loud bang, like I ran over a cinder block or something on I-25.
How many miles on this thing?
It's got 3,800.
Man, I would be very upset. Now, here's what I'm thinking, okay?
I'm thinking you can take it, and you should take it to another dealer. Not all dealers are the same. I mean, really, they're not. I mean, you don't have to take it where you bought it.
No, I know, but that's why I bought it where I did, because I live there. But
yeah, but right now it doesn't matter. Right now you just need to get this fixed.
Yeah.
And then worry about that.
Yeah, I sent a letter to the Attorney General, state of Colorado.
Well, there's no they have absolutely nothing to do with car purchases at all.
No, but I was thinking on the lemon law part.
Well, they have nothing to do with that either. I mean, the lemon law is a very simple process. First and foremost, it has to be within the first year or the warranty period, whichever is less. Is it the first year when it is it?
Yeah. No, actually, I think it was after 12 months.
Then it doesn't matter. Then you're automatically out. And no, they don't extend it, and they don't make any. And here's the second thing. You have to lose use of the car for 30 days or more cumulatively during that time, or they have to fail to fix it 3 times. They haven't even fixed it once. So here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think you have a lemon. And if you did, here's the unfortunate part. They have put it in the hands of arbitration under the auto program with the Better Business Bureau. And then what they would have to do is either offer you a buyback at a depreciated value or a replacement. The lemon law really in this state does very little good for anyone. However, it's better than nothing. In your case, something that you just really just totally you just disregarded. Sometimes going to another dealer, that's all it takes, and they say, we got it. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, because it's under warranty. I understand you live near these people, but I would take it away from them and go somewhere else first before you, and then I would do that again. I would do that 3 times. If on the 3rd dealer can't find it, then we will help you get the district manager or the district supervisor involved, because now we got a problem. You got to, and if they can't honor the warranty, even if it's not a lemon, they have a problem if they can't honor the warranty.
Yeah, well, that's basically what they've told me. They said you're on your own. You know.
Well, no, they didn't.
Deathly afraid of that car.
Right.
Yeah, they have.
So did 3 dealers? Did 3 dealers tell you that? Terry, did 3 dealers? All right, we'll see you. We'll see you, Terry. You let me know when you want real help. Okay? People just don't believe what I tell them. You go to another dealer. And then you go to another one. Then we have ammunition. But people don't listen. I've been doing this for 40 years in Denver, and I know how to get their attention. Right now, they're going to say, go to another dealer. Or they're going to say, we don't know what to do. And here's the thing, Terry. Here's what you need to know. They're not even acknowledging you have a problem. They're thinking you don't even have a problem. They can't see it or hear it, so they're thinking you're nuts. That's what we have to get away from. Now, here's another thing. You have a data recorder. Are they letting you keep it?
I drove around with it for a month. I had to put it in and out
for
over a month.
Did it, when you say in and out, it's not automatic?
Well, every time I'd leave it in overnight, it would start beeping and then get real hot. And
why?
I explained it to him. I said, is this going to run down my battery?
Okay. You need to get, there are data recorders that are automatic. They just record data. But
I offered to buy one.
I don't believe that they actually pulled the code and investigated. I think that they think it was an intermittent backfire or something, and I think that they think that you're nuts. And I think that they think that if they just placate you a while, it's not going to happen again. Honest to God, Terry, we have handled that many that I know how dealers think. They are waiting for this to just go away on its own. You need a Kia. Mark, do we know a good Kia dealer that we could send him to?
I guess at Arapahoe one. No, actually we do, because you know what? Deal and Doug bought that one. Yes.
We should hook you up with a dealer and ask them to please help you out. But the data recorder, first the codes and all of that. Suzanne, get his information, okay, so we can refer him through, we'll use one of our contacts. Dr. Mike Hederscheit, brightenyourfamily.com. Thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate it. Folks, don't forget, referralist.com for help, information, and referrals. And save all your problems for me. plumbing, heating, cooling.
I gotta get out of here. I got a car heading to my house.
I think that he thinks that the dealer thinks that the manufacturer thinks.
That's what I thought. I'm just gonna keep going back to these people that can't help me no matter what.
I was hoping you're gonna bring Aspen in, but let's see if she's not there.
Steve, yeah, I know. I like to just joke with her anyways because she's